There we go. Hey everybody, how's it going? Is this set to immediately go public? Yes, it is. Cool. Cool. Because it used to be set so that it didn't immediately go public, and that was annoying. I had to fix that. Everything's a little different when you stream on YouTube, and today's stream is on YouTube. I am here and public? Perfect, thank you. Good to know it's working. Man, you were fast. I didn't announce this stream at all, and I've been live for, let me check. Where does it say? 30 seconds. No, 40 seconds. Oh, wow. Man, you guys showed up fast. How did 36 of you get here in the first 1 minute? That is wild. I haven't even, like, set up the notifications yet. Lentil indeed. Been around since 2011. That's fucking wild. What was I doing in 2011? Let me think. So it's 2025 right now. I first started uploading to this channel in like August 2010, I want to say, because it wasn't too long before my birthday. I was like 17 when I started uploading to this channel. So if we fast forward like a year, what was I doing like a year after I started? What, like early Dawn of War? Maybe the early Dawn of War Let's Plays, something like that? Probably. I should probably get the notifications going, shouldn't I? Oh my god, so many people already. 2013 subscriber. What was I doing in 2013? Was that like Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Densetsu? Something like that? That was like 11 years ago. That's crazy. Still waiting on Stadium 2. It will happen, I promise. I would never break a promise. Dawn of War was my shit. It was probably that. Dawn of War is awesome. Now, my Dawn of War Let's Plays were awful, although they were probably on par with the average for the time. Oh, go away, YouTube. Sorry, YouTube is telling me now is a great time to insert an ad break for you guys. It's been less than 3 minutes since I went live. Go away, YouTube. No one needs an ad right now. Hearts of Iron, Grace and Turkey, greatest Let's Play. Oh, the Love Boat. Man, I should hit up Elder Hill and we should do that again sometime. I haven't played Hearts of Iron in quite a while. Very different game, but Victoria 3 scratches the same itch, but way better for me. Really like Victoria 3. Love the content, keep up the great work. Thank you, I appreciate it. Missed the Mario Party Let's Plays? Well, I just did another Mario Party game with my friend Hero. It's on the YouTube channel right now. You can see it in the playlist section. It's not public yet, but you can watch it early in the playlist. It's just unlisted, so it's still viewable in there. How are the cats? Cats are good. 7 Days to Die on the radar, yes. Will you do another CK3 playthrough? Yes. Yeah, I should get, like, notifications set up. I should let, like, Twitter know and stuff I'm live. I need a link to my stream, though. God, there's, like, no easy way to do this on YouTube. It's so fucking annoying. They give you a stream URL, but it doesn't work. Here we go. They email me with my own stream whenever I go live for some reason. I can use that, can't I? Ugh. Sorry, no, I gotta go into my inbox to get this. It's so obnoxious. Because it's like, it's not like it's the same link every time, like on every other streaming site. It's like a video, so it's got its own link. You know? Okay, you might hear two of me here. Let me grab that. Hey, there we go, I prevented it in time. Alright, let me let people know on Twitter that I'm live. There we go. I sent that out. I'll put it on Blue Sky as well. There we go. What a thumbnail. I need to put it on the Discord as well. Twitch notifications, even though it's not on Twitch. But, you know, they signed up for stream alerts, so that's what this is, a stream. And I gotta let people know on the Steam group. Let me just let them know real quick. Live broadcast. There, I'll put on YouTube in the title of that. Yeah, it's got the link sent to them too, but sometimes they don't notice the link and they just see the notification saying I'm live and they just go straight to my Twitch and then they're all confused. Like, do I have anyone in my Twitch chat right now all confused and being like, where's the stream, bro? Let me check. I don't currently, but that happens often. Okay, I can see the chat again. Sorry, I was sending out notifications. 1 a.m. for me to just start stream. Sorry. I'm really bad about picking stream times. Well, I don't pick stream times. I just kind of go live whenever. But going live whenever usually means it's hard for Europeans. Rumble thoughts? Oh, it was pretty fun. I watched it with Hero and a bunch of people on his Discord. Will you do a Perfect Dark play? Oh, like let's play a Perfect Dark? Probably at some point. That's a fun game. I've never beaten it before. I actually didn't grow up with that game. How am I doing today? I'm doing okay. It's supposed to be a day off, but I worked a bit anyway, because of course I did. I was doing some troubleshooting today on the computer. Haven't had any luck with it, though. What was it? What time is it for you presently? It's just turning 8 o'clock p.m. in like 1 minute. Yeah, I've been having an annoying issue where, what was it? Let me check. There we go. My RAM, I have 64 gigabytes of RAM in my computer, and I've had this computer for 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that. But it's only ever used 45 gigabytes of the RAM, despite having 64 in it. It's weird, right? Where like in my task manager, it says 48. Yeah, well, 47.7, but it also says 48. And that's how much RAM it says. But if I open something like CPU-Z, that says 64. So I know that all the RAM sticks are seated correctly. And if you look in the side of the computer, because I have like a glass side to one side so you can see in it, all the RAM is lighting up. It's like stupid RGB RAM. I don't care about RGB, but you can see it's all lit up. It's definitely powered. I can even open my Corsair whatever software, and it detects all of it. CPU-Z detects all of it. So like clearly the computer is aware it's there. The only thing that isn't detecting it's all there, or not using all of it at least, is Windows. The computer knows it's there, Windows seems to not know. So you'd think that's probably the kind of thing that you'd fix by going into your BIOS. And yeah, it probably is the kind of thing you fix going into your BIOS. But ever since I got this computer, I've had an issue where you can basically never go into the BIOS. For whatever reason, it's a what is it, an ASRock motherboard. So usually you use F2 or delete to go into your BIOS. But for some reason, it's been like this ever since I got this computer sent to me. I got it from iBuyPower, which I never recommend, by the way, because I used to always just build my computers, but I decided back in 2020, I'm like, hey, I've got some decent money now. Let's have a professional build my computer this time. I had no end of issues with them. Oh my god, they were horrible to work with. Of the many issues that it had, and I had to take it to a Canada Computers to get it fixed, like the fucking GPU being dead on arrival and stuff, one of the issues was it was blue screening. Every time it tried to boot into Windows, it would blue screen, unless I went in safe mode. And I also couldn't get into the BIOS. I got in like a couple times, but it mostly wouldn't let me in the BIOS for some reason. It would just lock up if I hit delete or F2 on that splash screen at the beginning, but then I could, you know, restart and it would go try and get into Windows again. I brought it to the Canada Computers at the time, and they were able to fix the blue screening. It was just the network card in there had a bad driver, and when they disabled the driver, that fixed it. That problem has never really been fixed. If I re-enable that network driver today, it'll blue screen again, and I can just go into safe mode and disable it, and then we're all good. But the weird one was, when I brought up the BIOS thing to them, they're like, oh, that's weird. We went into your BIOS several times in the shop. We didn't have any issues getting into the BIOS. And so I haven't needed to go into the BIOS for years and years, but I was looking at the RAM and I'm like, you know what? I really should toy around and try and fix that, because I do max out my RAM when editing often. So I tried to, like, in the last few days, and nope, just every single time I try to go in BIOS, the same issue still persists. You can try other ways to get into the BIOS, but it doesn't work, you know? You can do the thing where you put a shortcut on your desktop and that'll restart into BIOS. That doesn't work. You can do the thing where you hold shift and you click on restart and you go into the advanced settings and whatever. That doesn't work. It all just hangs at the same point. I've read, verify the RAM type and speed match your motherboard requirement. Yeah, it's all fine. None of that is the problem. So, oh, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Yeah, I just can't get into the BIOS for some reason. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, I read some post in all my Googling, just a weird offhand thing where someone said that they couldn't get into their BIOS. It would lock up on the splash screen until they stopped using DisplayPort as like the hookup for their main monitor. They switched to HDMI. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me, but if that is happening to some people, yeah, I guess that could be happening to me. I do have my main monitor plugged into the computer through DisplayPort, not HDMI, because my HDMI slot on my main monitor is being used by my capture card. And if I took it to the shop and they said, oh, that's weird, we were able to get in your BIOS. I mean, they're using their own cables and they're using their own monitors. They were probably plugging in the computer through an HDMI, not DisplayPort. So I guess that could be it. I gotta test that. I'll have to mess around with a bunch of cables to test that, so that's kind of a pain in the ass, but like, if it works, it works. Are they the new Canada Post of your channel? Is what the new Canada Post? Lost train of thought, needs more RAM. Who's your favorite wrestler? Stevie Richards. How about the Rumble last night? That was fun. Never remember what the key for BIOS is? You spam all the F keys and delete key until it works. Yeah, a lot of people are like that. It doesn't help that like every company's motherboard uses a different button for it, but at least on my splash screen at the beginning, it very clearly displays what buttons you press. For me, it's F2 or delete. Either one works. I mean, when it works as intended. You Google it? I mean, that gets you the answer too, yeah. The company you bought the PC from? Oh, I Buy Power? Yeah, they're fuckers. Never buy from I Buy Power. They really fucked me over. Like, it's one thing to send me a computer that got a bunch of damage in shipping. It's another thing when I take it to a Canada Computers. The GPU is proven to be dead on arrival. So they say, okay, send it back to us, the GPU back to us, and we'll send you a new GPU to put in. I'm like, okay. I send them the GPU, they send me one back. It gets caught by duty, and it's like a fucking $100 or more, I think, in duty. And they tell me in the emails, pay it and then we will pay you back. And then I pay it. And then the duty people tell me after it's been paid, oh, they should have paid it. And then the fucking people at I Buy Power just ghost me from then on. So they saddled me with the duty that they should have paid, and then they ghosted me forever and never paid me back for that. So that's why I blasted them so many times for it. Yeah, to this day, I never got paid back for that. They're fuckers. The front of my case doesn't close. It got damaged in transit, I guess. It's never closed properly. It's mostly closes. It's not a big deal, but, yeah. That and the whole blue screening thing, they didn't fucking test this. I paid extra money for them to, like, overclock it and test it. They couldn't have tested it, or else they would have realized that it blue screens on loop when you go to boot it. They're real fuckers. Don't remember HBK doing the sexual mimicking. That was like 1998, 1997. Probably 98. Bought a computer from them on Amazon and it crashed on boot up and you had to return it. That doesn't surprise me. No, iBuyPower are awful. One thing you found on keyboards at work is not all keyboards are active during the initial boot. I've seen that happen before. That's not my problem, though. Mine is very much active, because if I press any of the buttons that activate that go into BIOS, then I just hang on that screen forever. So definitely the button is working. It just hangs forever. It's the exact same thing if I make a shortcut that goes into BIOS, or if I hold Shift and hit Restart and go into BIOS that way. It's all the same result. It just gets to the splash screen where it says the motherboard name, and it says, like, press these buttons to go to BIOS, and it just hangs there forever. And I just had to turn the computer off and on and let it boot into Windows instead. Are you interested in playing EU4 again? Being your favorite Paradox game since you bought it and you have, like, 4,000 hours on it. It's a fun game and everything. I don't know if I'm going to play it on the show. I have no idea. How's everyone's night been going, by the way? Or day? What do you do today? I'm just kind of hanging out with all of you. Oh, right. YouTube changes how everything works all the time. I'm supposed to make a poll, apparently. Okay, so here's the thing. Let me explain to you how bad YouTube is in every way. So, YouTube has this habit, I'm sure you've noticed it, where they really love introducing new features that they push very hard for a little while, and then they pretty much abandon all support for it as soon as it picks up any steam. So one of those is streaming. They focused really hard on streaming for a while because they wanted to compete with Twitch. Really hard for a while. I mean, they were reaching out to, like, YouTube partners to get one-on-one video call interviews with them to ask, like, you know, do you stream on Twitch? What do you like on Twitch? What do you like here? What would get you to stream more here? Stuff like that. I did that years ago with them. Sit-down interview with them about that. They're great to talk to, actually. Like, they're really inquisitive. The people they put you in contact with when they do that, it's not like some PR person. It's like an actual YouTube engineer. So, like, they really are just wanting to nerd out with you over this stuff and write down what you have to say. It was really interesting. It's like the best talk I've ever had with YouTube. Because normally you get tech support people who don't have the authorization to fix anything. Or you get PR people who don't actually know what they're talking about. So streaming, they pushed it really hard, right? And, like, there's occasionally good features with it. Like, they recently made it so that when you do a live stream, it gets auto-uploaded in a live stream tab after, which is really nice. It keeps it separate from just the video feed. It's a cool feature. But here's the thing. It has the exact same problem as Premieres that they have never, ever, ever fixed since the beginning of Premieres, which is to say that it thinks it's a video, but it doesn't correctly calculate that there's concurrent viewers for it. So when it actually, like, gets uploaded after, it seems to think that, like, it's essentially a video that got no views for the first however many hours it ran for. So they think, like, whoa, this video has really bad view velocity. No one gives a shit about this. And so it kind of buries it in the algorithm. Now, that doesn't make any sense, but that's how it works. So the current meta is, one, you do a poll, a completely useless poll. It can be a poll about anything. And two, you tell people to like the video or the stream or whatever. Often, you make the poll just to tell people to like it. And the reason for this is, it gets promoted way harder if you guys interact with it. Now, you'd think leaving messages in the chat would be interacting, but I don't think it actually takes that into account. But it provably does take into account if you hit the like button and if you interact with a poll. So if I do a poll, and if you hit the like button, this stream gets promoted to more of my own subscribers who otherwise wouldn't even see that this exists. Like, some of you guys just saw that this stream exists, right? The vast, vast majority of my subscribers are not being notified in any way, shape, or form that this exists on their homepage unless you like it. If you all like it, then a larger percentage of my subscribers who refresh their homepage right now will have this stream show up on their homepage, and they will show up live. How fucking weird is that? Why does it work like that? That doesn't make any sense. In what way does that aid the streamer or the viewer? They subscribed. Surely it is a safe bet to simply have a clickable link on the homepage to the stream as you would any other video. And that you wouldn't need to show it to like 1% of people. And then if they don't like it enough, if they don't hit that like button enough, then it simply will not even attempt to show it to anybody else. Why would it work like that? I don't know, but it does. It's super stupid? Yeah, it is super stupid. More people need to use the subscription page on YouTube. I agree. I've been using the subscription page for years and years and years. It works much better than the homepage for seeing the people that you've actually subscribed to. One thing that keeps YouTube streaming going is all the popular streams and corporate VTubers and their audiences who don't really watch other platforms. Yeah, kind of. It's worth pointing out that, like, a lot of people, even in YouTube gaming, don't really know that Twitch exists. Some of them have never heard of it. Many of them have heard the name, but they don't know anything about it, and they think that it's a paid website. Because they hear that you have to pay to subscribe, and they conflate that with what a subscription is on YouTube. In reality, on Twitch, what you would call like a YouTube-style subscription, that's just called a follow. That's just following someone. A subscription on Twitch is the same as a membership on YouTube. It's just a weird difference in terminology. And, you know, Twitch subscriptions have existed since long before YouTube had memberships and stuff. In fact, they got the whole idea of memberships from Twitch. You're not drunk enough to understand the 5e chess that is the YouTube algorithm. Hi, Rocky. Rocky might need a little more food. I think he may have wolfed it all down. Never find any of your or other niche videos within the subscription page? Oh, absolutely. My Let's Play videos often just don't even show up on anybody's homepage who subs to me. They don't even try showing it to you guys most of the time. Is Wrestling Empire an option for games tonight? I really miss your series. I mean, maybe? I don't know. Here's the thing. I was wanting to stream for a while, but I wasn't really in the mood for anything in particular. I just kind of want to hang out with you guys. And so that's why I wrote, like, maybe some games, who knows? Because, you know, if something comes up and I feel like it, then sure. But I don't know if I'd want to, like, go into, like, a full series kind of thing, because then I gotta kind of go into, like, work mode, if that makes sense. Hi, Rocky. That, and, like, I haven't played that game in a little while, so I'd want to, like, remind myself of where we left off. Didn't get a notification for the stream on my phone, even though I have the bell ring for this channel. I hear a lot of people tell me that. I don't know why. I ring the bell with channels too, and I just don't get notifications for it. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, it happens to me too. How does the microphone sound, by the way? I've been messing with a lot of settings and stuff, and I actually just changed my XLR cable out today for a different one with better shielding, because I had an issue when I was voicing over the challenge that will come out this coming Saturday, where my mic cable landed on a power line, and I didn't know until after the recording, so there's this annoying buzzing in the audio. Now, I was able to mostly get rid of it because I have some really good, like, professional studio quality plugins for removing that kind of white noise. But it's not like 100% gone. You probably won't hear it unless you have a really good headset, a good sound card, and like studio headphones, because between the music and the microphone, I think it's mostly drowned out. But man, it bugs the piss out of me. How come you changed your rival name to Suki? Because that's Suki's newest username. Sound clear, not too loud or low. Okay. We thought about doing Starfield challenges. I've barely even played Starfield. I don't really give a shit about Starfield. I don't think anybody does. White noise is a wrestling move. That's true. It's the air raid siren. I guess you could call it a lot of things, though. Just finished the most recent life vlog. Hope everything is going well. I mean, it's not any better than it was then. If not very mildly worse, I guess. Remember the old Q&A videos when you lived by that church? Yeah, that was back in Hamilton. That was, I moved out of that place in 2014. That's the house we lost. Then I spent 1 year and 1 week living in that shoebox apartment with my mom. And then I moved out to an apartment with roaches out in Mississauga. I was there for about 9 or 10 months. Then I moved to my old place in Oakville. And I was there until, I don't know, 6 months after I blew up from the Pokemon challenges. About that. Then I moved here. What's the recent playthrough with Suki? Are you asking, like, what's the most recent playthrough with Suki? I don't know. That horror game we did? Devour? Was that what it was called? I mean, it's not really a playthrough. It's like one long stream. The shoebox apartment era was iconic. Dedication to the to a video day was so inspiring. Thank you. I appreciate it, because it was very difficult. Props to my mom, who's always been my biggest supporter, for making it work, because, like, literally, it's one room. It's smaller than a hotel room. And then there's, like, a tiny little bathroom off to the side. You know, like, the foot of my bed was up against the fridge. Or, rather, the foot of my bed was up against the like, convection oven. And hers was up against the fridge. And then I'm like 1 step away from my computer desk. I was probably getting like 1,000 steps a day for a whole year. It was brutal. So hard on my body. Just living in that tiny, tiny space. Better to stream on Twitch or YouTube. May actually casually stream on here and there when my net is stable. There's no like 100% correct answer to that question. There's advantages to each one. If you already have an established YouTube channel, you tend to get better views on YouTube, but that's not always true. You know, like right now I have 67 concurrent views right now. It's normal for me to go live on Twitch and have 60 concurrent views. It's also normal for me to go live on Twitch and have 120 concurrent views. It kind of depends on the game. It kind of depends on when I go live. It kind of depends on how much I advertised it ahead of time. For me, it's a little equal on each. Maybe I get more if I do Pokemon stuff on YouTube here. But there's advantages to both. What I will say is, if you're going to do Twitch streams, always have a YouTube channel that you can upload the stuff to after. Because a Twitch channel without a YouTube channel attached is only growing when you're live. A Twitch channel with a YouTube channel attached is growing 24/7. Streamed on Hitbox, those were the days. I miss Hitbox before they got a Zubud. You know, when I stopped streaming on Smashcast, I was the biggest streamer on all of Smashcast. Pokerogue's fun. I don't think I'm going to play it right now, though, but I do want to get back to that. Will you do a Far Cry, any of them games Let's Play? Or Devil May Cry? I don't like Devil May Cry, but yeah, I Let's Played Far Cry games on this channel. You can go watch them. I did 3 and 4. Opinion on Jey Uso winning the Rumble? Oh, that was pretty cool. I didn't think he was gonna win, so that's cool. Not enough, like, surprise Legends appearances for me in the Men's Rumble. I'm a big sucker for those, but I still thought it was a good match. I liked it. Feels weird not being on Twitch. Hope you're well and be. Thank you, I appreciate. I go live on YouTube once in a while. Mostly I like doing Twitch. Oh yeah, I should do a poll. I forgot. I spent all that time talking about how polls are apparently so good, and then I didn't do one. What button do I even press to do that? Here it is. Ask a question. Optional. Wait, optional? What do you mean that's optional? Oh, is the whole webpage freezing? No, just the chat's freezing. Oh, man. YouTube's gonna fix their shit. Whoa. That was weird. Wow. It lets me make a poll with no name. Why does it let me do that? Wow. Oh, my God. I just got an out-of-memory warning on the whole Chrome page for the studio page. Let me refresh that. I'm not even close to maxing out my memory, by the way. I just refreshed it. That was probably straight up like Chrome glitching out. That is wild. All right, I can see the chat again. Sorry, it locked up when that happened. They had the opportunity to use Matt Cardona and skipped on it. Yeah. Why didn't they, like, bring back Chris Masters for it? He's been awesome on NWA. The answer is yes for Manbar. Manbar's the best wrestler of all time. What's the most annoying wrestling challenge you've ever done? Oh, metronome only, Fire Red. Easily. Mine was especially hard because I didn't just use that option in the randomizer that makes it so, what was it? The option in the randomizer that makes it so every Pokemon in the whole game only has metronome. That's way easier because then your opponents are only using metronome. I did it way harder, which is where you only use metronome and the opponents still have their regular balanced movesets. That's the only challenge where I strongly considered giving up partway through and just doing something else because it was just egregious. Waiting for Pokemon Journey LPs and Terraria. Well, I am doing more Pokemon Journey LPs for sure. The next Terraria one will probably be like that master difficulty thing. Me and my friend Callippi will probably do that together. She's got 100% of the achievements in Terraria. She's really good at it. You want to play metronome only so bad? It's not fun. It's not at all fun. Is the winner in wrestling scripted also, or is it just most of the fight? It's actually the other way around. The winner is predetermined. The majority of the fight is not predetermined. Obviously, it depends on the promotion. It depends on the length of the match. It depends on what they're doing exactly. But in general, okay, let's say TV wrestling, because TV wrestling is the majority of wrestling that you guys probably watch. The wrestlers already know going in how long the match is going to be, although that changes sometimes. They know any major thing that they need to get over in the match, and according to the story or whatever they went over with the agents in the back. They've probably been told some things not to do, and they know who's going to win, obviously. You have to know who's going to win going in. But for the most part, like, you know, if it's like a 3-minute match, yeah, they're probably going to have planned out most of the match with each other backstage ahead of time. But if we're talking something longer, then there's going to be a whole lot of improvisation in it. You have to, because you don't know how the crowd's going to react. What, wrestling isn't scripted? Yeah, not really. There's parts. If you're talking about like a promo, then like where they're just talking to the camera, some of it is scripted, yeah. Usually they're given bullet points on what to talk about, and then they put it into their own words. But not always. Every wrestler is different. A lot of it is improv, though. You have to be able to improv, because things aren't going to go to plan all the time. It's a live show done in one take in front of a live crowd. No matter what, plans are not going to go 100%. You need to be able to improv. It's theater. You mean like WWE? Yeah, WWE. There's a whole lot of improv. You have to. No wrestler is trained in a way that you can't improv. Are you still planning on heading to the States, or has that changed? No, it hasn't changed. If one day, and see, the difficult thing now is money more than anything, because it's not nearly as good as it used to be. The thing keeping me from moving before was a global pandemic. That made it very difficult. And then after that, it was money. Makes it very difficult, because it's not just me going. I gotta bring family with me. Then immigration is not easy in general. It's a very lengthy process. So it's a whole lot of things, really. But I would very much like to own property sometime in my lifetime, and that will not happen here, so. Canada will be states, right? Oh, you mean like annexed? I mean, that's very unlikely. People like meaning about it, but that's very, very unlikely. You gotta remember that we're a sovereign nation. Like, you have to be very, very politically naive to think that the United States could simply annex its biggest ally and that there would be no consequence for that. Now, if Canada voted to join the United States, that's completely different. That would be a democratic vote, but look, the majority of Canada is not going to agree to that. If individual provinces of Canada were allowed to vote, then you might get some close calls here and there. I could see some of them maybe going. But, like, Quebec's never going to agree to that. If Canada were to somehow do a national vote and say, yeah, we want to join America, Quebec would fucking just separate. Like, they've nearly separated just with Canada being its own country, let alone if we were joining the United States. Quebec would never agree to that. The buying Canada was a joke? Yeah, you guys gotta remember, it was originally just a fucking offhand joke to Trudeau. People take these things so seriously. Now, if the very, very unlikely scenario happens, and Canada, I don't know, gets a national vote and votes to join the United States, and first of all, we'd be like 5 different states. We wouldn't be one state. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be so bad for America and bad for us. That wouldn't make any sense on any level. We'd be completely uprooting our whole government. Like, we're a parliamentary republic. You're a presidential republic. We don't have the same government almost at all. Like, it'd be a radical shift. It would take a decade to change everything over. But yeah, we'd have to split into like probably 5 provinces. It'd be like Ontario, Quebec, the Maritimes would probably all become their own state. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, they would probably become one big state. And then British Columbia, I don't know what the territories would do. The territories would probably all combine into one state as well. Maybe even just join Alaska. I could see that happening, because we're talking about very underpopulated territories. When we're talking about, like, Yukon, Northwest Territories, Nunavut, they're very, very underpopulated. They would probably just join up with the Alaskan government at that point. So, like, if that were to somehow happen, which I think is a really big long shot, I don't know, fine with me. I would use, if suddenly where I live became a state, if Ontario became an American state, hell yeah, I would use that to then just go move to a different state. A state where the cost of living is way lower. That's what I've been wanting to do this whole time, is move to a state, an American state, where the cost of living is significantly lower. Because right now, if you live where I live, which is the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, I don't live in Toronto. The Greater Toronto Area is the city of Toronto, and then all of the regions around it, which is where the majority of Canadians live. The current housing prices are so bad, and the wages are not great. The current calculation that I was hearing was that you would have to work for 29 years, 9 to 5, at the average salary to buy the average home. 29 years. So you can't have a kid. You could get one quicker if you got married to someone and then they also work a full-time job. Now that's to get the down payment, not the house. That's the down payment for the mortgage. That's how bad the housing prices are right now. So, like, I know people, whenever I talk about, like, housing in Canada, you get a bunch of Americans who don't know anything about Canadian housing, and they're like, but it's so expensive here. You guys have no idea. It is so much worse here. It is not even remotely close. It's like living in the heart of LA, and that's just most of Canada. So if where I live in Ontario just became an American state, hell yeah, I would just go move to another American state, because Americans can freely move to other states. So if Ontario became a state, I would go move to a different state. Do you own any Toronto Raptors stuff? No, I'm not into sports. Big brain MTV moment here. Ohio might be where you want. Weather can be hectic. We get memed the crap out of, but you find the right area and it's really nice for way cheaper than Canada. I mean, there's parts of Ohio I like, but I'm probably still not going to Ohio. See, sometimes people have this weird idea where they're like, you should go to like Michigan or Ohio because the weather is similar to where you're from. Dude, I don't want to be somewhere where the weather is similar to where I'm from. The weather here sucks. It gets incredibly hot and humid in the summer, and the winter storms are brutal. It goes from 35 Celsius in the summer with 100% humidity to negative 35 Celsius with like fucking ice storms in the winter. There's places on Earth that are hotter. There's places on Earth that are colder. There aren't many places on Earth that get both as hot and as cold as where the majority of Canadians live. We live between 3 of the Great Lakes. We get freak weather. It's awful here. The reason Canadians live here is because the St. Lawrence River goes really far inland and there's canals between the lakes. So it was easy to settle along the waterways and all the fertile soil is here. It's not because the weather rocks. The weather is horrible. Nobody likes the weather here. It's horrible. There was another snowstorm today, which means tomorrow morning I have to go shovel the sidewalk or I get a fine from the city. You just have to do that over and over and over every winter. Shovel the sidewalk, shovel the whole walkway to your house, and if you don't do it, you have to pay money to the city. And it's heavy, and it's cold, and there's ice under it, so you might injure yourself. It's miserable. Wondering if you have a tutorial for CK3. I don't think I have a tutorial for CK3, but I have that old England Let's Play of CK3, and I've had a lot of people tell me they learned how to play the game by watching that. Because I do a very good job of, I'm not gonna say I play at a high level. I don't think I really play at like a high level. I play at like a medium level, but I also really think out loud and explain why I'm doing what I'm doing a lot. And I also field questions from the live chat constantly. So you get people of different skill levels asking questions, and you hear a lot of answers, and that helps. Oh, hi, Rocky. Kentucky's cool. Tennessee's pretty cool. Depends on where you live, I guess. North Carolina's pretty cool. North Florida's cool. I wouldn't want to live in, like, South Florida. Too humid. Look, it's 100% humidity where I live quite often. I already know I hate hot and humid. Hot weather, fine with me. Hot and humid, I hate it. It feels like you're walking through soup. I hate that garbage. North Florida, not so bad. North Florida also has less natural disasters, which is nice. And really low business taxes, which is important for me because I own my own business, and I'd be bringing my business with me. If you don't like hot and humid, I'd avoid Piedmont. Isn't Piedmont in Italy? Northwest Italy? Raleigh gets hot and humid in the summer. Well, I wouldn't be living in Raleigh. I'm not gonna go live in a city. Not unless it's just like a very small city, maybe. And even then, I'd live in a neighborhood, not in the city. I fucking hate city living. The only reason I've ever lived in cities is because of people dragging me into cities. I grew up in a town with a population of like 3,000 people. Probably less. I think it has even less now. It's not even, it was an incorporated township when I was a kid. It's not even an incorporated township anymore. Hi, Rocky. Okay, Rocky does want some food. Hi, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be right back, everybody. I'll be like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna go feed Rocky and then hit the bathroom, and I'll be right back. Let me put a 5-minute break sign up. There we go. Enjoy the tunes. Okay, I'm back. There we go. Oh, let me catch up with chat a little bit. Florida gets more humidity the farther north you go. I got some friends who live there who came from the Northeast, and they don't mind it. They say you get used to it really quick. Here's the thing. I'm from a place that is almost always 100% humidity. You can't go above 100%, so it can't get worse than where I am right now. Live rural and drive over like 5 minutes and suddenly there's a city. I mean, that's how it is in a lot of Canada, yeah. You're never really that far. Well, I say a lot of Canada. I mean, in all the places where Canadians live. You know, that middle of nowhere I grew up in was only like a half-an-hour drive from the GTA. Dog is now on top of your pile of plushies. That's adorable. That was less than 5 minutes? My 5-minute break screen was a lie. A ruse. You live in Buenos Aires? Now, Buenos Aires probably gets a lot hotter than here. I think that's a safe assumption. What kind of vibe are you looking for? I don't give a shit about vibes. I give a shit about living somewhere where I could afford to get property and have a future for me and my family. So somewhere affordable. Somewhere affordable with good internet because I'm bringing my job with me. We get 35°C summer with 80% humidity. Oh, damn. So it's, it's actually cooler where you live. Okay. Well, same-ish temperature, just less humid, slightly. Okay. God, fucking... It sucks here. You'd think it'd be a safe assumption that Argentina would be hotter, but fucking apparently not. So not California? Yeah, not California. California is a no and a never. You've gotten to 40, but that's rare. Yeah, that must be like heat wave. Like serious heat wave. Brazil's hotter, Argentina is so south. That is true, yeah. Argentina, well, I mean, Argentina, if you want to go into South Argentina, damn, it goes real south. Although, you know, the population centers, if I remember right, are more kind of northeast-ish section of the country, along the coast. Buenos Aires is fairly close to Uruguay. Kansas has great internet? Oh, okay. I imagine affordability in Kansas is probably not too horrible. You live in a rural South Carolina, 2 acres of land, 4-bed house, $900 USD for my mortgage, real cheap. Okay, so by comparison, my rent is $3,000 a month, nothing included. That's rent, not even mortgage. I pay for other things on top of that. Electricity, gas, water heater rental, stuff like that. That's not even the only rent I pay. I also pay for my mom's rent. What is 3,000 Canadian to American? Let me check. CAD to USD. So that is 2,000 American a month for like a half a townhouse. That's crazy. Utilities are obviously not included, but yours is still much more expensive. Yeah. Also, all of our goods cost more than in America. Like, our groceries are more expensive on average. Really, most things here are more expensive on average. Cost of living in Canada is always really high. It's brutal. If you can get paid in USD, you'll be good down here. I get paid in Great British Pounds, which is even better. Well, some things are in Great British Pounds, some things are in USD. It depends. Like, sponsorships are almost always in USD. Yeah, most people assume Canada's cheap if they don't live there. Yeah, people assume a lot of things about Canada that are just not true. And then they condescend to Canadians. It's insane. The Canadian economy is legendarily bad nowadays. And it's been in horrible decline for my whole adult life. Especially the real estate market. The real estate market here is atrocious. Yeah, a lot of people think Canadian healthcare is like literally free. It's not literally free. There's a lot we still have to pay for. Also, wait times are atrocious for specialists, but like, healthcare is difficult. Yeah, I've got a friend who lives in Connecticut. Connecticut can be very expensive depending on where you live. I mean, there's no real cheap place in Connecticut. It's not a very big state. But, you know, it's up in it's so close to New York City that I know that a lot of people live in Connecticut so that they can commute to New York City for work. And that's probably a big part of why it's so damn expensive. Yeah, Canada's Europe, but worse. Canada's America, but worse. Yeah, everyone outside of Canada has these weird fucking preconceptions about Canada, and they're not ever true. Oh, Canada is like America, but without guns. Dude, we have like the same rate of having households that have a gun in it as America. We own less guns on average than Americans, but that's because the average household that has a gun in it in America has many guns in it. If you look at like just the rate of houses in which somebody owns a gun, it's like the same. We're not gun haters in Canada. We don't have as much shootings or whatever, but we're not gun haters. Oh, it's like America, except for the healthcare is free. It's not fucking free. We have a different healthcare system than you, but people are like, well, they have like the NHS, they have like the British healthcare system. No, we don't. They have a public and a private system. We only have a public system where every hospital and clinic is like a private clinic and hospital, but it's all single payer, and the single payer is the government. So all the prices for everything, like for the doctors paying everything is like standardized. So you run into really weird, unique problems when you don't have both. And then also, as a citizen, you do have to pay for a bunch of healthcare stuff. Like, they don't pay for your medication. If you have medication, you're paying for that. Hey, Morgan, how's it going? As always happens when I'm having a Just Chatting stream, people start asking about Canada, and then we get talking about Canada, because nobody ever knows anything about Canada. Everyone has weird preconceptions and assumptions about Canada. See, Morgan, you probably have better assumptions about Canada than most people because you're Australian. And Canada and Australia are like mirror images of each other when it comes to problems. Pretty much any government problem or economy problem that Canada has, Australia also has. It really is shocking how often that happens. Very hot here, 41 Celsius today. Damn, that's even hotter than it gets here in the summer. That's brutal. The hottest it gets here is 100% humidity, about 35 Celsius. That's like a heat wave, and that's the feels like. It is hot as hell. It's uncomfortable. Everybody stays inside when that's happening, but it doesn't really get worse than that. Not where I live. Crazy you live in Connecticut. Connecticut rules. Who lives in Connecticut? Oh, the other person in the chat, yeah. Strategic reserve of maple syrup? I have no idea if that's true. Wouldn't shock me. It's actually quite a lucrative export for us. 35 is the standard in summer? Yeah, that's about the hottest it gets where I am. That's like the hottest it gets in the summers. Let me know if you want to play the Medieval Dynasty multiplayer. I do really want to play that sometime. That game is cool as hell. I've never played it multiplayer. I assume it'd be really good for some chill streams, you know? Let me check something. Have I dropped any frames this stream? Not a single dropped frame. I did a lot of work last month trying to get my internet more stable, and I think it's really paid off. Worst part about humid heat is your blood pressure drops. Yeah, that affects me too sometimes. How much is it to own a pet / pets? That depends on how many health issues they have. Vet bills here are fucking brutal. I had to drop over $1,000 just to get some dental work done on Sabu, some blood tests and dental work done, some medication for him earlier. I guess not earlier this year, it was like late last year, because 2024. That was horrible. That was really expensive. And cat food is really expensive too. I get all my cat food from Costco to save a little bit of money, but it's still quite expensive. I budget like $100 a month for cat food. How did you make the net more stable? So my modem is in a different room. It's a very close by room, but I really wanted a wired connection because it's just going to be more stable, right? So the first thing I tried was a power line adapter. What that does is that uses the, you plug it in, you plug in one near your modem, and then you wire it to your modem, and you plug in another one near your computer, and you take a wire from that, and you plug it into your computer. And it essentially is transferring the internet over the power grid of your house. That got me worse internet, because the electrical system in my house is very old and shitty. So that works great for some people, didn't work great for me. What worked better for me actually was getting a, I got a Wi-Fi extender, and the Wi-Fi extender also has a, I hate that I'm blanking on the name of the cord. You know, it's the cord used for internet and phone lines. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, even though I've said it a million times in my life. But that one, I have a Wi-Fi extender that I extended Ethernet, thank you. Ethernet cable. I have a Wi-Fi extender that you plug into your modem, and you plug in your modem, you plug it into a wall nearby, and it connects to your modem through that, and then you unplug it, and you put it in another room. Now, the funny thing is, my studio is right next to the room with the modem. So when I plugged it in, and I connected the phone app, it's like, hey, you should plug it in farther away because you already have really good connection there. But really the reason I got it, extending my Wi-Fi into this room makes no difference at all. The reason I did it is the Wi-Fi extender has a really, really solid connection with the modem. And then I took an Ethernet cable and I plugged it into the Wi-Fi extender and plugged that into my computer. And that nearly tripled my internet speed. So it's still technically Wi-Fi on some level, but it's more stable and much faster. It's not as good as literally being wired into my modem, but this is probably the next best thing. I have one of those. I need it because my house is long. Gotta extend it for the kids' PC. Makes sense. Should have hammered a hole in your wall and shoved the Ethernet cable through. I don't own this place. I can't do that. I'm renting like every other Canadian on the planet. No one can afford to buy a house. Remember earlier when I was saying it takes you 29 years of full-time work to afford the average house in Canada? I say, as I remind everybody that there is a super chat goal. Don't feel obligated. Sorry I didn't get to hang out long. Oh no, it's okay. I hope you had fun. You don't have to tell anyone. Shh. Oh, that hammering a hole through the wall? No, I'm a good tenant. I wouldn't do something like that without asking. Also, where it is and where I would have to hammer through, the cord would go into a closet. Like, I would have to run that cable very fucking long. Where do you meet Brandon? Math class, grade 11? 10? Something like that. You have a 20-meter Ethernet cable. Jesus, do you just, like, run it along the baseboard of the house? Because this house has those things where, like, you can plug the Ethernet cable into the walls, and it's got some outlets for it, but, like, they don't fucking work. None of them work. Friends were fighting on a bed on a hotel, got thrown into the wall, made a hole. They covered it with a piece of paper and painted over it, made the hole invisible. That's amazing. You can rent it on the ceiling. Okay, it would have to go through a room with a door that needs to close because this is a home recording studio. It just wouldn't work. Flash House is your favorite series back in the day? She's doing well. Brandon Suki now, by the way. 50th username, I know. In fact, I think tomorrow we're doing something together. Let me check my calendar. I think tomorrow we're playing Resident Evil Outbreak. Probably gonna record that for the show. That'd be fun. It's gonna be me and Paraspector, and hopefully Scott from Scott's Thoughts can make it. Oh, I gotta write it down. I forgot to put it on my calendar. There, I put it on the calendar. Yeah, me and Scott haven't gotten to, like, get together and, like, hang out in a call before, so we've been excited to try and get this working. But it's, like, it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard to get schedules to line up. Newgrounds bring back Flash player, but better. I mean, they never didn't have it. They made a Newgrounds player that's worked this whole time with Flash. I thought Brandon was Wadageek and Suki was Goosit. That is the most insane thing I've ever read. How do I explain? Okay, Wadageek is Wadageek. And Suki is Goosit. How do I explain that? That is so confusing. Thoughts on Rumble. It was fun. What was that game you were playing? Had the Mask Monster. Y'all still playing that? Mask Monster. Oh shit, what was the name of that game? Something Company. Lethal Company. You talking about Lethal Company? That was a cool game. Maybe we should play that again. Yeah, I was thinking Devour for a second too, but no, Mask Monster. That was a thing in Lethal Company. Ever consider doing a race with J-Rose to beat a challenge? No, not really. I mean, I considered it, yeah, but I instantly dismiss it because that's not what I do. I'm not interested in racing. Can't make a good video out of that. And plus, that's not how I record. You love Lethal Company? Oh, it's such a good game. I've noticed that all of those group-based local voice chat horror games, whether it be Devour or Lethal Company or Phasmophobia or like any of those, I swear, like, of all of the people I know and all of my friends and all the streamers that I'm aware of that, like, I'm friendly with or whatever, friends of the show, whatever you want to call them, like 95% of the people who play all of those are girls. I don't know what if that's just me or if that's just the user base of those games. I don't know if it's a coincidence or what. There's a new one called Headliners. It's like content warning, but newspaper. Which one is content warning? I feel like I know that name. Will you be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection coming this month? I'm not really a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. You thought Wadageek's real name was Brandon? No, different people. Is Devour the one with the goat mommy? It had goats. And Hey Arnold. Would you ever play a Mario Party on the channel? Well, you'll be happy to know I have a playlist of like 50 Mario Party videos with my friends, and I most recently streamed Mario Party with Hero less than 1 week ago, and it's on the channel right now in the playlist section. You talk about the Royal Rumble matches yet? Yeah. You're at least the 50th person to ask. Have you thought about doing any other 2D randomizers like Link to the Past? No, not really. I haven't even played Link to the Past casually. Maybe I do like a Majora's Mask randomizer one day. I'd rather probably
I can smash that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd probably be more likely to just like let's play the game first. Don't mind me just watching Hulk Hogan flex in Watermark. In Watermark? Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, Robin. In Watermark. You mean the way that he's like in the background? I like to think he's a ghost. God, Legend of Goku. That first Legend of Goku game is so bad. It's amazing how bad it is. Any chance you'll play Mario Party again? Well, I played it less than 1 week ago, so yes. Thought Brandon was no longer Brandon. Yeah, we just talked about that. There are far more awful Dragon Ball games than good. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's a lot of good ones. There's like a fuckload of good ones, whereas when it comes to bad ones, like, not many are coming to mind. If you're including like Japan-only ones too, there's even more really good ones. You think Jey Uso can win his first world title in Vegas? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. I'm assuming he's going against Cody because there's like a, you know, they used to tag, there's a story there. Hey, Truth. Voted no on the poll. Was there a question associated with it? Nope. It let me make a poll with no title. There weren't a lot of good ones until the Budokai games hit. Nah, I disagree. There was a lot of really good RPGs that were Japan only. But you can find like fan translations of them. Yeah, I agree with Legacy of Goku sucked so much, but Legacy of Goku 2 was great. Boost Fury was far better. Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Legacy of Goku 1, terrible video game. So bad it's funny. Legacy of Goku 2, really solid game. Boost Fury, really good. I really like Boost Fury. Definitely the best of the three. Oh, Truth's here. Time to talk about Sonic Underground. I think you'll find it's called Hedgehog's Underground. Common misconception. I had a joke to tell you. What do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? I don't know. What do you get? And are you telling me a joke or are you telling me the truth? That wasn't meant to be a pun, but you know. Lamau. Now, I don't know if that was actually you laughing your ass off or if that's the answer to the joke. Kung Pao reference. Was that a Kung Pao reference? I just watched that movie and I didn't get it. Did you already talk about the Royal Rumble match? Yes, and someone asked me that word for word about 1 minute ago. Watch the movie Kung Pao. I watched it like 2 weeks ago. That is a lot of nuts.
Bet I can smash that.
Wait, you watched Kung Pao? Yes! Like 2 weeks ago. Oh, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. I have no input, just keeping the train going. Wait, train? Like a hype train? Is there a hype train on YouTube? Is that a thing? Maybe one of my messages didn't go through, but my answer was my ass. Yeah, that didn't go through. I don't see that in the chat. Was that a quote in Kung Pao? I don't remember that. Maybe that one just slipped by me. It's Betty's joke. When in the movie did that happen? I really don't remember that. I guess that one slipped past me. We trained him wrong on purpose, as a joke. I love... Dude, that whole section of the movie was really good. Right after Betty says, I'm a nice man with happy feelings all of the time. Forget, what was Betty's name before he was Betty? Everyone should go watch Kung Pao. Master Pain, that was it. Easiest challenge you've ever done? I don't know, but, Pokemon Red with only one Ghastly. I'm gonna say that. It was probably the easiest one. Ghastly is very strong in that game. Pokemon Red with only, or actually, I think I did Pokemon Blue. Pokemon Blue with only one Drowsy was also very easy. They were both very easy. Kung Fu Hustle is a special place in your heart. I have family members who worked on the special effects for that movie. Good-ass movie. Regigigas? No, Regigigas runs aren't super easy. Boot up Dwarf Fortress, see how much you've retained? No. I'm not gonna randomly boot that up right now when I'm having a chill time hanging out with the chat. I don't want to fucking strain my brain trying to remember how to play Dwarf Fortress. The translation for Kung Fu Hustle was good as well. But yeah, there are jokes that didn't translate well. Thought you were gonna say Retata only, because you could use items in that run? Oh, no. Definitely not, because that was my first time doing it, so I wasn't very experienced at it yet. Plus, just the way I recorded that run was really inefficient. Oh, I just got some emails. Is this important? Oh, receipt from New Japan World. Okay, that's fine. Deep Rock Galactic has chill vibes stream. I feel like I've heard the name of that game, but I don't know what it is. Will any Kung Pao quotes be entering your sound bank? I had one in mind, but I don't remember what it is now. Thought about trying Wobbuffet Run again in other gens? Probably not. Massive, massive pain in the ass. What was the hardest one you've ever done? I don't know. Metronome. I'm just gonna say Metronome because it was the worst one. I'm over. That's a lot of nuts. I mean, I do like that line, but I think that the line that made me laugh the hardest was, ha, my finger points. That was really good. Sunkern? Oh, Sunkern was really bad. It really made it worse, too, that it was the double whammy of, one, Sunkern is the lowest stats Pokemon in the entire game, and two, it only has, like, a few moves. They're all, like, really awful grass moves. And there's a lot of mandatory Pokemon you fight in Gen 2 that double resist grass. I thought you'd say Wobbuffet run because you failed without items. Oh, that's true. I mean, I failed a bunch of runs, though. I failed like 7 runs now. Something like that. Gen 2 does hate grass types. It really is shocking how hard of a time you have doing a solo grass type run in that game compared to anything else. I'm actually planning on doing a bug type Pokemon, or a bug type only Pokemon run. I'm going to start recording that tomorrow. It'll have a little bit of overlap in what makes it difficult, but I don't think it'd be as bad as a grass only run. Well, okay, well, I say that. If I did a grass-only run, I might actually have better Pokemon to pick from. I don't know. If you've done 223 runs so far, have I? I don't know if that's true, because, like, not every video in the Pokemon Challenge playlist is a Pokemon Challenge. So if you're just checking that number, then that's not accurate. It's a little bit lower than that. I feel like Gen 2 hates all the Gen 2 Pokemon. There's a bit of truth to that. It's been a while since you had a run you couldn't finish. Let me think. Oh no, that's not true. Shinx and Platinum. I failed Shinx and Platinum right before the Elite Four. Didn't I fail that one at, like, the rival fight? I don't think that was that long ago. Plus, like, didn't I, like, just lose one? I feel like I just lost a run really recently. Surely it's aired already, right? What was the one I lost recently? It wasn't Pokemon White with only version exclusives. No, it was like a Pokemon White 2? No, I don't think that's aired yet, though. Let me check. Hold on. Pokemon White 2 with only Paris. Yeah. I gotta start editing that one next week. Or I guess tomorrow I think I start editing that one. Ditto 1 was a recent loss? That was like 2 years ago now, though. Do you think I'll ever start a Victoria 3 Let's Play? I really should, because I play a lot of Victoria 3. When I actually have time to sit down and play a video game recreationally, I usually play Victoria 3. You want to do a Crystal with just a Houndour? I seem to remember Crystal, or doing Pokemon Red with one Houndoom. Or Houndour. Nah, one Houndour. I seem to remember that being really easy, actually. Or was it Growlithe? No, it was probably Houndour. If you move to US, move to Maryland, where a blue state, we're more temperate compared to the states close to Canada. See, here's the thing, is that goes against, like, everything I said about why I'm moving. 1, I want to move somewhere very affordable, not Maryland. 2, I don't want to move somewhere where the temperature is anything like where I live, because it's miserable here. 3, I wouldn't be moving somewhere that's, like, I wouldn't be moving somewhere and not bringing my family with me. That's the problem. I need to build up money so that I can bring my family with me. Which is where I will remind that I do have a super chat button. Move to Puerto Rico? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about real estate prices in Puerto Rico. Nor do I know anything about business tax there. See, that's another very important thing, is what the business taxes are in the individual state that I would be moving to. Because I'm bringing my business with me. I'm a sole proprietorship. Canada has awful business taxes, especially here in Ontario. It's an enormous amount of my income just wasted on business tax. Yeah, I need enough money to move Truth with me, even though he's already American. Sales tax is 11.5. Where is it 11.5? Oh, Puerto Rico. What's like the business tax there? Going back to Deep Rock Galactic is kind of like Vermintide, more than Payday, but with destructible and open-ended objective-focused missions. Though the objectives are fairly easy to understand. See, that doesn't sound like a chill game to me, though. Like when I think about like Vermintide, or I played a little bit of Vermintide. I played a lot more. Payday 2. Obviously, you guys know that. I don't really think of it as a super chill game. You got to be pretty focused. It depends, I guess. With Payday 2, I played it so much that I could pay attention to the chat while also playing, but that's kind of a unique situation, I guess. Gonna be real hard for me to get my American citizenship. Yeah. How are you gonna prove that you're American, Truth? Hi, everyone. I believe that, sorry, the icon's really small, but that looks like the Chinese flag to me. How's it going? You guys are like 14 hours ahead of me, if I remember right. I got family in Hong Kong. I think it's a 14-hour time gap between here and there. How chill it is depends on hazard difficulty. Oh, okay. Maybe less, I don't know a lot of taxes, I'm just a civilian. I like the implication that being a business owner makes you not a civilian. I am a megacorp. I am a big old corpo. Sole proprietorship. I own a business with one employee. The employee is me. Wait, you can watch YouTube in China? Hey, magic of VPNs. A lot of Chinese people know how to use a VPN. It's a very useful tool to have over there. Have you seen Professor Oak Challenge? I saw, John Stone did some of those. They're cool. Big League Megacorp. Cyberpunk 2077 Let's Play when? Oh, actually, I just played for the first time on my Steam Deck like a couple days ago. I'm still in like the tutorial stuff. Yeah, North Carolina's got good business taxes. A lot of the southeast of America has very cheap business taxes. Ever heard of Magic or VPN? Yeah, there you go, VPN. See, look, a lot of people in China know all about VPNs. How can you not? I mean, the internet there is quite restricted. You gotta have a VPN. You can't just hide all the fun shit from everybody in China, you know? Look, where there's a will, there's a way. Never, never bet against human ingenuity. Any country with restrictive internet just has widespread use of VPNs. It's how it is. Trivia, what's the maximum number of weaknesses a Pokemon can have? Oh, you mean like with a 2-type combo, how many weaknesses would they have at most? I don't know the answer to this for sure. I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna say 8. Absolutely true, everybody has one. Even at my workplace there's one. Yeah, that's exactly what I heard from my family in Hong Kong. I'm sure it might be a little bit different in Hong Kong than in mainland China, because Hong Kong's just such a different history, even such a different recent history. But, I mean, what they tell me is everybody has a VPN. I would wager that the only country on Earth with restrictive internet that doesn't have widespread VPN usage is probably North Korea. And even then, they do have VPNs. It's just, you know, punishment for that is very severe. And, I mean, nobody spies on their citizens more hardcore than North Korea. So, with North Korea, you're kind of playing with fire, you know what I mean? Hey, Andy, did you watch the Rumble? Yes, I did. What's your favorite Pokemon? I like Drowsy. Hypno's, like, equal to Drowsy for me. North Korea used to have widespread VPN usage before the pandemic, you think? I think there's some truth to that. I know that VPN usage went down with the pandemic. It's a lot easier to crack down on people when they're stuck in their house. Can you meet with M&J TV and form a Drowsy fan club? Does he like Drowsy? I didn't know. We've talked just a tiny bit. A couple emails years ago. Let's play a different music playlist. This one's looped like 100 times. Let's do map games. There's gonna be like one person watching who's gonna be like, oh, I know all these songs from this channel or this channel. Do you know Pokemon names in other languages? Oh, just a little bit. There is a there's a couple where the woman is Canadian and the man is Japanese, and they upload videos on Instagram where they each say to each other what the English and Japanese names of a Pokemon are, and they discuss it a little bit. I don't really remember any of the Japanese names off the top of my head, to be honest, but it's kind of interesting watching those. I think, like, drowsy is just sleep, or something very generic like that. What's your go-to playstyle for a new action RPG like Cyberpunk or Fallout? Action RPG. I guess it depends a little bit on the individual game. If stealth is a mechanic in the game, I tend to really like stealth because I just very much like stealth in games. So here's the thing, is I'm thinking like I would play Fallout very different than I'd play Skyrim, but they're both action RPGs, the same game engine even. If there's magic in the game, I tend to quite like magic if it's interesting magic. Archery can be fun. I don't know. I like every play style. I play many times with many different play styles. It's fun. The one consistent, I guess, is if there is stealth, then I tend to like to play around with stealth a lot. Everyone plays Skyrim as a stealth archer? I mean, I use a bow at least a bit in Skyrim. I don't really main using a bow in Skyrim. Oh yeah, Japanese name for Magmar is Booba. That's true. You do seem very stealthy in Deus Ex. Yeah, and I like the Hitman games. I'm a big fan of those. I like stealth in games in general. If we're talking about a very different game, Monaco, What's Yours Is Mine, that is a very fun stealth game. I guess, oh yeah, you see the couple that I was talking about? You seen them too? They're pretty fun. I like them. And to me, do you know how candies work in Pokerogue? Oh, I don't remember. I probably got told 100 times during Pokerogue. You love Monaco? Oh, isn't that such a good game? I let's played it ages ago. That is a very fun game. You know, they're working on Monaco too. I think it's like 3D or something. Why does the goal say 0 out of 10 if people have already sent super chats? It says the goal ends in 42 minutes. I wasn't allowed to make the goal any longer. I don't know. Is it because it's teal? What's a teal super chat? Does anyone in the chat know? Is that like a certain amount? 4-player Monaco is one of the first things you upload on their channel. That's awesome. You like going stealth build with daggers? Yeah, that probably is more fun. I like the bow in Skyrim as like an occasional side weapon, rather than like my main. Oh, I figured that out. You have to specifically click on the goal for it to count? Really? That's weird. Yeah, when I click on it, it says 10 teal super chats, but I thought one earlier was teal. I don't really know how the color coding works on this, to be fair. Do you have any recommendations for wrestling that isn't WWE? Yeah. I don't really watch WWE. I just watch the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I used to watch a lot of WWE back in the day, but not so much anymore. Ever since they got rid of the WWE Network way back in the day, it made it very hard for Canadians to watch, and they just wouldn't take my money anymore. But the thing is, like, I watch tons of pro wrestling every day, just not WWE. I watch Impact, AEW, I watch New Japan. I love a lot of companies. DPW is really good if you want some, like, really kick-ass indie wrestling. There's a lot of good wrestling companies. I'm not a big WWE guy, but the thing is, if you're into wrestling, you kind of learn a lot of... You always keep up with WWE through, like, social media and the video games and stuff, because WWE owns so much of the market share of pro wrestling that it's just unavoidable. So, like, I know a fuckload of its history. I've seen a lot of it and everything, but I don't really watch modern WWE outside of a couple really big events. Like, I always watch the Rumble. The Royal Rumble is always a fun show. Even a bad Royal Rumble match, it's still a fun match type. I watch a lot of NWA. I never miss an episode of NWA. That's free on Twitter if you want to go watch it. Like, literally, NWA Power just airs as a 40-minute show every week on Twitter for free. No ads or anything. Really short, quick, wrestling-focused, easy watch. Fun long-term storylines told over the course of many years. It's the land of misfit toys, where all the wrestlers, just random-ass wrestlers that are very good, but that don't have the body type or don't have the kind of character that would get signed to a major company, they end up there, and that's really fun. And a lot of wrestling shows are really long, you know, like WWE Raw is a 3-hour weekly show. NWA Power, 40 minutes, once a week. Such a quick, easy, fun watch. Got PSN Plus Premium to play Fallout New Vegas and Oblivion, only to find out that the DLCs aren't included. Oh, that's lame. Dude, do they even sell New Vegas without the DLC anymore? I thought they only sell, like, the definitive edition now. You're talking about the two baby Pokemon, right? What? Sorry, what baby Pokemon? I don't know what that's in response to. Oh, hiccup. NWE, oh, it's NWA, National Wrestling Alliance. Power, basically a telenovela. I say as I haven't watched it, but you should watch it. It's very good. Got done doing a Stalker 2 playthrough. Is Stalker 2 the one that just came out? I mean, I know there was a Stalker 2 back in the day, but it's one of those game series where I'm sure it got rebooted at some point. Boyfriend's more into wrestling than I am? Okay. Should be saying to my fiance, oh, congratulations, that's awesome. It's more fluid now that's on Netflix. It's usually more than 2 hours. Okay. Hey, that's cool. I'm fine with a wrestling show being a bit fluid with its runtime. Power is as well. Some episodes are a little closer to an hour, some are a little bit closer to 30 minutes. It's just whatever works for that episode, you know? And I think that's how it should be, but like I understand with TV, you can't necessarily do that. You know, you're buying a certain amount of time and a certain amount of ad space. But whereas when you're on something like Netflix or you're on something like Twitter, you can be a lot more malleable with the runtime, you know? I think that makes for a better show. Someone was asking about the name of two Pokemon in French. Oh, gotcha. In the same menu as checking IVs, for Pokemon, you can spend candies for certain benefits. Oh yeah, I think I've showed that on screen a bunch. Came out last year, like months ago. It's technically second one. Some of the two games like a standalone DLC thing. Okay. So how is it, the newest Stalker release? Because I played Stalker 1, like the original. I streamed that like 10 years ago. I thought that game was really fun. I didn't beat it. But I thought it was a really fun game. I agree. Stop restarting franchises and making multiple entries with the same name. Hitman did that too, and I hate it. And the worst part is, it's not like you can just ignore the new Hitman games. The new Hitman games are really fun. The names just suck. Man, one day, I gotta show all of you guys Crazy Crusher versus Hellstorm. It's a free wrestling match you can just watch on YouTube. It's like 20 years old now. It's from like 2004. And it's just two kids on the indies who are like brothers. They're like 19 or something. And they're wrestling each other in a high school gym in Quebec. And they have one of the best ladder matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Every single time I watch it like 3 times a year. And every single time I watch it, I'm just blown the fuck away. There's so many things that they so easily could have fucked up and ruined a spot, and they just didn't. They do innovative stuff I have never seen before or since, and I have watched an unbelievable amount of professional wrestling. It is so fucking good. It's mind-blowing, and it's just two guys you've never heard of before. Never heard of before, never heard of since. Had very small careers. They were never big guys. They were never on TV. Nothing like that. Just a couple of indie wrestlers beating the shit out of each other in a high school gym for a crowd who was there for every moment of it. That crowd knew they were witnessing something special. It's just a free match you can watch on YouTube. In fact, no one owns the rights to that shit. I could broadcast it if I wanted to. I could literally put it on stream right now and we could all watch it together. If you consider doing a challenge of a ROM hack with an increased difficulty, like Pokemon Sacred Gold or Pokemon Blaze Black, I get asked that a lot, actually. Not a challenge in it, no, but I wouldn't mind maybe doing some streams in them. And if I end up liking them, then maybe I'll just like play the whole game as a stream through. But not challenges in my typical way, no. People do ask that a lot, though. They don't bring up those two ROM hacks. They usually bring up like the Kaizo ones and stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of ROM hacks like that, where they up the difficulty or change the balance or something along those lines. It's fun. The AI has aimbot, so it can be annoying, but open world and walk everywhere, place to place previous game with from the previous game with no load screen. That's always cool. Like Sims 3 before they decided load screens are fun. And they brought them back for whatever baffling reason they did that. Ever consider Kaizen Ironmon? What? For a stream. What is Kaizen Ironmon? If it's a Nuzlocke, the answer is no. Kaizo Ironmon. I'm guessing an Ironmon is an Iron Man run. If it is a Nuzlocke, then the answer is no. I seen your SmackDown vs. Raw LP a week ago with the bone hurting juice. Okay, that Let's Play is so old. So old. I don't know what you're talking about with bone hurting juice. J-Rose played one of the Kaizo games recently and it was miserable the whole time. See, that's how they come across to me. Kaizo games don't look fun to me at all. A balanced game with increased difficulty, that can be fun. A Kaizo game is a game intentionally made to be as hard and frustrating as possible. I know it'll blow your mind, but I don't find frustrating to be fun. Flare out! That'll never get old to me. It was one of your friends. What was one of my friends? Have you ever done a normal hardcore Nuzlocke? I fucking hate Nuzlocks. Yes, I have. I have played a little bit of Nuzlocks before. I do not like Pokemon Nuzlocks. They are not fun to me. Ugh, I get asked to do them constantly. What about as an option for a game to just boot up, to mess around with while talking to the chat? Some of the new Hitman games that you've already Let's Played? Nah. I'd rather focus on chat than do that. I believe Kaizo Ironmon is a randomizer Nuzlocke where you can only use your starter, can't pick Pokemons above a certain stat threshold. Yeah, that's a no and a never. Sorry. It's not just a running joke when I always say I don't like Nuzlocks. I legit just don't find them fun to play. I like permadeath in a game that's balanced for permadeath. Pokemon is not balanced for permadeath. Not a big fan of making things more difficult in a grinding-heavy RPG like Pokemon by just surprising people. Yeah. Like random crits in a permadeath game? Ugh. As a fool, and I selected Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl as the site for my first Nuzlocke. Oh yeah, because that's the Elite Four in that game is really hard. Cynthia sweeping your team with Garchomp, yeah. Oh man, the whole Elite Four and Cynthia in that game is just brutal. That's a rough one. Oh yeah, I gotta remind apparently. If you like the stream, it shows up on more people's homepages and then more people will show up at the stream. You'd think that just being active in the chat would do that because that's engagement, but no. No, YouTube doesn't consider that engagement, but they do consider it engagement if you vote on the poll and if you like the stream. I don't know why. YouTube is completely arbitrary. Remember when you attempted beating Heart Gold Soul Silver with only a Cyndaquil? Have you considered Heart Gold Soul Silver with Chikorita and Totodile? Yeah, I probably will someday. I don't think I'll win, but I can try it. Dragon Quest 1 without buying equipment. I grew up with Dragon Quest 1, like on the NES. It was called Dragon Warrior though. The NES cartridge in English. It was called Dragon Quest in Japan though. So you're saying comments are not good for the YouTube algorithm? I mean, they are once the stream is uploaded. But when it's live, for some reason, no, it doesn't do anything. How weird is that? It's like only shiny challenges, spending 7 reset just for having a shiny starter. I don't see a... Yeah, I know, right? 7 hour resetting just for a shiny starter. I didn't see how fun that could be. I completely agree. Like, there's nothing that sounds fun about that to me. I've gotten a shiny starter, I think, once ever. I think only once ever. It was the Pokemon Black with only first form bug Pokemon. That was like 5 years ago. And my very first Swaddle was shiny. I didn't restart for that or anything. Spent hours punching slimes before you could figure out you could buy stuff. Yeah, thankfully I had like a game guide with it that taught me that you can do that. Yeah, I agree. It's more fun when shinies just happen. You ever seen the stream where they make the entire team only shinies? Or the streams where? No, I haven't. I don't watch a whole lot of Pokemon stuff. I like to kind of just do my own thing. Most of what I watch is pro wrestling, some speed running stuff, Victoria 3 stuff, 007 GoldenEye stuff, stuff like that. Other games. Other games and lots of pro wrestling. I guess my first shiny was like Red Gyarados in Pokemon Silver, but like that barely counts because it's always shiny, you know? Your first shiny was Poochyena? Hunting the Professor in Gen 3. Oh, I thought it was a Zigzagoon that hunts the Professor in Gen 3. Either way, I know what you're talking about, and that's awful. I actually ran into a shiny Poochyena in my... I think it was my Pokemon Emerald with only Plusle and Mine and Run. I ran into it, and I ran into it at that beginning part of the game before you fight your rival, so you can't buy Pokeballs yet. So I didn't even have a chance to catch it. Not that it mattered, but you know. Will you ever play Pokerogue again? Oh, absolutely. I haven't not been playing it because I don't want to play it. I haven't been playing it because I've been way too busy with life and with other work. So I want to get back to it soon. I don't know exactly when I'll be able to, but hopefully soon. Some have Zigzagoon, others have Poochyena. Oh, you know what? I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Emerald has Zigzagoon, and I think Ruby and Sapphire has Poochyena. Yeah, I saw it. You gave me PTSD. Oh, it's amazing. It's not literally, we didn't have literally the same encounter, but pretty close to it. Yeah, same part of the game, basically. I mean, I guess in both instances, we were on the same route and couldn't catch it for one reason or another. Although that's even more tragic for you, because you were playing a regular-ass game. If you had caught in the Poochyena, then you would have actually gotten to keep it, whereas with me, it's just some random-ass save file for like a challenge run. I was never gonna boot it again, you know? It's not like I would have gotten to keep the Poochyena, whereas you would have if it weren't for it showing up at the Professor. Enemy's live when I'm awake, it must be a dream. Monotype Pokerogue run? Eh. I'm not gonna do challenges in Pokerogue. When do you think you and the guys will do Pokemon Stadium? You know the rules. I can't answer when, I can't answer soon. I can just answer if. And the answer for if is yes. What's the poll? I don't know. It let me make a poll that had no name. So I made a poll with no name. Now I have it on good authority that if you vote yes or no, doesn't matter what you vote, as long as you vote, it does increase the engagement score of the stream, which will mean that the stream shows up on the homepage of more of my own subscribers. So if you vote on that, and if you also like the video, more of my subscribers will be aware that I'm streaming right now. But other than that, the poll means nothing. Tanks only Hearts of Iron 4 run. I haven't really played Hearts of Iron 4 in a long time. It's a fun game, but I pretty much just play Victoria 3 now when I'm in the mood for a grand strategy game. I think you were 8 when that happened. Level of frustration was horrible. Oh, that's tragic. I think I was 8 or 9 when Gen 2 came out. Oh, maybe not. Gen 3 might have come out when I was 8 or 9, actually. I don't remember. Then do you just want to go endless mode and see how far you go? I don't know. I don't really have any goals. Just playing it and having fun. Is Wrestling Empire better than the WWE 2K series? They're kind of apples and oranges. They're very, very different games at their core. Like, playing one won't necessarily tell you if you would like the other almost at all. Yeah, I don't know how to compare those. That's really hard. Wrestling Empire is really good, though. And even non-wrestling fans, there's a lot of fun to be had in Wrestling Empire. With WWE 2K, there's probably still a lot of fun to be had if you're not a wrestling fan. Especially if you get into community creations and you just download, like, I want handsome Squidward versus Joe Biden. You can do that. It's really funny. You can download anyone you can think of. You can download the Ghostbusters. You can download SpongeBob. You can download Homer Simpson and have him fight Peter Griffin. Just whatever you want, whatever you can think of. Yeah, Wrestling Empire could just be a murder sim if you want. If you want, instead of being a wrestler in Wrestling Empire, you can just hang out in the subway system and throw people on the tracks. You can do that. What game was it used to create the Pokemon wrestling video? That was Action Arcade Wrestling. It was originally developed as a Chikara wrestling game, but then it just had like a generic license by the end, and it was Action Arcade Wrestling. You can buy it on Steam, you can buy it on Switch, I think it's on PlayStation. Only a Lowland Muck run? Maybe one day. Or a Lowland Grimer. Yeah, I like a Lowland Grimer and Muck too. I like Muck and Grimer in general, but like I need to Let's Play those games before I do challenges in them. I always play them casually first. Jail game where you can do the same stuff? Yeah, that's Hard Times. Do you play Radical Red? No, but I know what it is. You've seen someone play as Marge Simpson in Wrestling Empire? Yeah, there is a lot of customization in that as well. Have you thought about playing any Call of Duties or maybe even like Zombies mode? No, I'm not really into those. I had Call of Duty 2 back in the day. Oh no, not really my game. Your affection for Muck started when he was your ace for Let's Go Elite Four. That's awesome. See ya, Harpy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty tempted to show you guys. Crazy Crusher versus Hellstorm. Hey, Truth, are you still in the chat? How messed up is your sleep schedule if you're streaming when I'm awake? My sleep schedule is pretty good right now. I fixed it again. It's not even 10 o'clock. Why, are you in like a drastically different time zone? Do it, you won't? I mean, I'm allowed to. No one owns the rights to that anymore. You can just stream that. It's fine. You can re-upload it. I, for some reason, have valued HP more than other stats. I guess you meant stats when you play. Well, Muck is pretty good for that, then. Yes, I'm in India. Ah, I should have guessed from the name, yeah. I mean, I guess, for you, it must be fairly early in the morning, right? How many time zones does India cross? 3? Probably 3. You don't think Truth's here anymore? Yeah, I think you might be right. He probably would have spoken up if he was. He probably went to sleep. He's probably got work in the morning. He's a normal person with a normal person job. I'm a weird person with a weird person job. I'm technically at work right now, although I'm making basically no money for it. It's a weird part of my job, is that you don't, like, get paid just for, like, putting in hours, you know? Is the reason you always pick Helix Fossil because you want Lord Helix to bless your efforts? No, it was just the one in front of me the first time I picked. I didn't know it was going to become a gag until I uploaded it. India's one time zone? Wow. That's a really wide country to only have one time zone. That's interesting. Huh. Well, what time is it right now in India? Because it's just about to turn 10 o'clock p.m. for me. And I live in Eastern Canada. I share a time zone with most of the Eastern United States. If you do a Gen 6 run with a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, would you Mega Evolve it? Yeah, probably. 8:24 a.m. going for work. Okay, so you are 10 hours ahead of me, or 10 and a half hours, I guess. Yeah, you're 10 and a half hours ahead of me. Okay. Well, I hope you have a nice day at work. If you want a rum hack with increased difficulty, I mean, I don't, but Pokemon Sacred Gold is a good start. It's a bit old, and there's some old cringe references in the dialogue. That could be funny. We follow one time though through the whole country, even though there's like a 2-hour time difference. Yeah, I was gonna say, just like, India's an incredibly large country. There's no way it doesn't pass what you would normally have as multiple time zones, but I do understand that, like, a lot of countries have their own local laws that kind of mess with time zones. It's not exactly standard, you know? Here it's 10:55 a.m., but in Chinese New Year holiday, so no work for me. Oh, that's cool. Well, Happy New Year. What is it the year of? You know, there's like the animals and stuff. I was born Year of the Monkey. Your golden moment in 2K, in WWE 2K is going for a Cody Cutter and landing it on the ref. I've seen that happen before, where you go for like a springboard move and then like the ref gets slightly in the way and you just perform a whole ass move on them. It's so fucking funny when that happens. China would have 4 time zones but only practices 1? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Does Canada have daylight savings time? Yes, it does. I think we might have a province or two that doesn't, but on the whole, yes, it does. Hey, Slipmaker, how's it going? Everyone go follow his YouTube channel. It's fun. He does, like, retrospective stuff on TV series. Although, from the display picture, you would assume he does, like, New Vegas Let's Plays. Or that he's a really big fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which he may be. I haven't asked. And really, aren't we all? Will he ever do another run on original hardware like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl on something, or like Legend of Arceus, or Let's Go Eevee? Maybe not, probably not. It was such a bitch. Can we agree that daylight savings time as a concept is stupid? I don't agree. I don't hate it. Would you consider doing a Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl solo run? I did a no new moves run on it. And I never want to do it again. Horrible. We were born in Year of the Snake. It's a cool year. Oh, it's Year of the Snake right now. Oh, that's cool. Have you considered bringing back youngster Joey? I do from time to time. Speaking of youngster Joey, if everyone wants to go follow me on Twitter where I tweet about stupid things. Today I was tweeting about technical difficulties with my computer. Your channel was originally a New Vegas challenge run live stream, hence the name. Huh. Oh, I get it. Then you ended up covering TV stuff instead. That's hilarious. What year did you start doing those challenge runs? Do you remember? And what made you switch? Do you just love Red Letter Media? Not that Red Letter Media does the same thing as you, but you know, if you do, I feel like 95% of channels that cover movies and TV shows and stuff like that, they're at least fans of Red Letter Media. There's generations of YouTubers inspired by Red Letter Media. And like, how can you not be? They're so fucking funny. Slipmaker, do you ever do you ever watch wrestling? I've never asked. What do you think is the best WWE wrestler of all time? I'm bad at answering, like, favorites, and I feel like this is kind of in line with that. I don't know. I don't know who the best is. That's so subjective and difficult. It was like late 2019. Okay. Mandalore Gaming. Oh, Mandalore Gaming's really good. Great channel. He's one of those YouTubers where it doesn't matter if the game doesn't interest me from the thumbnail and the title. If I watch it, I'll have a fun time with it and he'll get me interested. He's done that with a lot of games. It's like Ross's Game Dungeon. Ross's Game Dungeon is one of my absolute favorite shows on YouTube. It doesn't matter if I've never heard of the game. It doesn't matter if it's super interesting to me or not. He will make me interested in it, and I will love the video every time. It's a 100% success rate. Haven't watched wrestling, but coincidentally, like all my adjacent YouTube friends love it. That's amazing. I was just talking about how I kind of want to show the chat Crazy Crusher versus Hellstorm. It's an indie match on YouTube of two teenagers in a gym in Quebec who are brothers having the most creative, innovative ladder match I have ever seen. And like, no one owns the rights to that anymore, so you can just broadcast it. I could just play it on the stream and we could have a watch along of it. Exactly, that's what I want to do, but for TV instead of games, because I felt the same way. Yeah. Every once in a while, like, so if anyone doesn't know Ross's Game Dungeon, you might know Mind of Freeman. That old, like, it is a series of Half-Life being played with comedic voiceovers of the internal monologue of Gordon Freeman, the character you're playing as. The same guy makes a series called Ross's Game Dungeon, and it is my favorite, like, gaming videos on all of YouTube. They're so entertaining. He can ramble about any completely off-topic thing for ages, and you will never get bored. That's something that I try to bring into my more edited videos as well. Not so much the Pokemon ones, a little bit more the Fallout ones or like other things, but I really take that philosophy forward of, if it's interesting enough, you really can just talk about fucking anything. And it's okay to go way off subject of the video, because if it's fun, it's fun. We'll spam chat until you do it. I feel like it would be better to put on Crazy Crusher versus Hellstorm if I had another person in the call then who could react to it, because it'd be their first time watching, and like I've already seen it like 3 times a year for like 3 years. It's so good. It's so good. It's so fucking creative. And the crowd is so there for it. And there's so many moments where it's like they could so easily fuck up, where they have like superhuman agility with the things they pull off. It's unbelievable. Had to hop on PC, planning on doing editing, which only involves putting the video in DaVinci and put it in 1080p. Poker, you can spend candies for eggs with a very high shiny rate. Huh. Is your least favorite Pokemon? I don't have a least favorite. Is it as wacky as the 2K19 ladder match you did with Joe? I don't remember what the 2K19 ladder match with Joe was. Man, me and Joe got to get together and play more wrestling games. Yeah, I don't remember that one. I wonder if Joe's awake right now. Like, time zone-wise, it's probably, like, afternoon in Australia. But then again, he often has, like, an inverted sleep schedule, so who knows? Oh, I have a button where it shows, instead of showing me the chat, it just shows me super chats. That's cool. I didn't know that. How do I... Oh, that's weird. I can click on the goal and it just doesn't do anything now. Like, there's no pop-up for it anymore. I think I broke it. Huh. My least favorite Pokemon is your favorite, every contrarian ever. Thanks for uploading your Pokemon challenge yesterday for my birthday. Oh, I'm happy you enjoyed it. Or I hope you enjoyed it. If you played Pokemon TCG Pocket, is that like the new mobile one? If so, no. The only Pokemon card game I played is like the old Game Boy Color one. The real point of the remake for BDSP is to traumatize a new generation with an even more brutal Cynthia. Yeah, that was brutal. I did a no new moves run in it, and it was so fucking hard. Took over my life for a while. It was brutal. You know what's a weird thing about YouTube live streaming? There isn't a viewer list. There's only a participants list, and it only lists people who have sent a chat message in the last, like, 2 minutes. It's so weird. Opinion on Gen 9 starters. They all have busted signature moves. I don't know anything about Gen 9 starters, sorry. RK9 is your favorite because big fluffy dog that you could ride. I mean, that's a good pick for favorite Pokemon. You know when you and Joe started playing 2K19 and then Ash joined in and Kiritazawa powerbombed Braun Strowman through the Hell in a Cell? I don't remember that happening, but I do remember the three of us playing together. I seem to remember, like, I think I wrestled against both of them, and, like, one was Pete Dunne and one was Fandango or something. Who was I? Maybe I was, like, Jack Gallagher? I don't remember. I know Fuecoco, yeah. The greatest sweeper of all time. Ever seen a video of a guy defeating Steven and Sapphire with a Wurmple? No, I haven't. I don't really watch much Pokemon stuff. DBZ Team Training was fun back then. Oh, that was such a fun Let's Play. For anyone who hasn't seen that Let's Play on my channel of Dragon Ball Z Team Training, it's a Pokemon Fire Red ROM hack, and it's very funny. I was Drew Gulak in that? Okay. I remember pulling one of them off the turnbuckle, and they inadvertently did, like, a senton to the other one. I don't know why that sticks out in my mind. Those games are fun. And we watched a video a while back where someone beat the entirety of Baldur's Gate 3 with just sausages. That is insane. I have not played enough Baldur's Gate 3 to know how you do that, but I'm sure it was very funny. Seen this video where a guy named Keegan J beating Pokemon Arceus with only a Magikarp. No, I haven't. It's like I just said, I don't really watch much Pokemon stuff. I could probably remember it because you didn't touch him, but he just... Oh, yeah, yeah! And we made jokes about me using the Force. That was it. Where I did a grapple near him, but I didn't quite touch him, and yet he just, like, clutches his stomach and falls off. Team training is such a good ROM hack. I think there's some people working on and adding more stuff as fan updates. Oh, that's cool. Because I know it was just a project by one dude originally. Had you do like the Rumble? I thought it was fun. Oh, okay, so its signature move is like Charge Beam, where it raises your special attack. Okay. Jiro's one's Magikarp video is one of the most memorable for you because it legitimately answers the question, is it possible? Which the answer was no. I think it was proven at some point that the answer is actually yes, but that, like, the luck required to win is so, like, astronomically bad it would never happen. Like, there's some exploit you can do to, like, get through Pokemon Tower. I could be wrong, though. Charge Beam's only base 50, Fuecoco's move is 80? Damn, that's strong. Favorite thing in multi-man wrestling matches is when one guy uses another guy to beat someone. Don't just throw them at them, though. Slam on them on, use them as a battering ram. Yeah. I mean, the Bushwhackers used to use each other's heads as a battering ram. Magikarp thing's technically possible if you use an event Magikarp. Okay. Moxie's such a good ability. That's like a big part of why Sandile is such a fun Pokemon. Heads as a battering ram, huh? Concussion City. Yeah, a lot of people get concussions in wrestling. Although you're not going to get it doing the battering ram because, you know, you're not literally hitting your head on them. Did you watch Wrestle Kongdom? Wrestle Kingdom. That's a typo for Wrestle Kingdom. I saw like the first match. I watched the Rambo, and then I've been meaning to get around to the rest of it, and I just haven't because I've been so busy. But I will, so don't spoil. I've managed to stay spoiler-free on it. When I found out I could break down the walls of a Hell in a Cell and climb the cell in 2K, I immediately took my enemy to the top of the cell and nailed a tombstone through the ceiling. Yeah. I hate that in the new games you gotta knock down the wall to do that. In all the old games, like on PlayStation 2 and stuff, you can just kick open the door to go out, and it's way easier to get out and get on top that way. It's so annoying when you gotta slam them on the wall a bunch of times to break it. Favorite wrestler? Stevie Richards. Ooh, Monty Brown. Monty Brown rocks. Would you ever do a monotype or mono poison run in Gen 1? Didn't I already do that? I'm like 99% sure I've done several. Why did you pick these animations to show us when I could be showing you a great ladder match? That's true. That is true. Man, but is it a waste to show the ladder match and not have someone else in the call to show it too? Because we need their reactions of them freaking out at everything, you know? They can be the surrogate for the chat. Awesome Kong. Great wrestler. Man, that one 2K19 video was so damn funny, just wacky nonsense. I really like the small face edge match where Joe played as Mah-Dry-Bread, the creator wrestler. That's amazing. I forgot about that. Oh, you thought Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat? Yeah, no, Stevie Richards from like BWO. You know what? I'll be right back again. I just gotta go hit the bathroom again. That tea is run through me. I'll be back real quick. I'm back. Oh, Sabu's joining me. Hey, Noonie. Would you ever play Fortnite? Not really my kind of game. I've got a small white cat staring at me. Hi. Yeah. I always wondered how much money Hulk Hogan went through shirts. Videos helped me so much in the ICU in 2020. I hope that whatever you were in ICU for, that went okay. Play online competitive online football and Pokemon, that's it. Well, I hope you have fun with that. I haven't seen Austin Powers in so long. How did you develop your fondness for cats? I grew up with cats. I grew up in a house with like 5 cats at all times. So they've just always been there. What's your thoughts on Dynasty Warriors? Those are fun games. Used to play them a lot. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is also a really fun strategy series. Do you listen to Stevie's podcast? A little bit from time to time. I'll catch some of the YouTube videos. What do you think about Team Rocket playthrough in Pokemon Yellow? Oh, like just using Team Rocket's Pokemon? I don't know how I would do that. I'm pretty sure none of their Pokemon are catchable in Yellow. I always hear that Nobunaga's Ambition is really fun, but I don't think I've played them. I think I might own one. I feel like I got one as a gift once, but I don't think I ever got around to it. Just always working, you know? Will you ever do runs where you name after people who comment on a Twitter post? Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that several times, actually. Can I catch Ekans or coughing in yellow? Yeah, I don't think you can. Or Meowth. Or Weedle, because Ash never was able to get one in the show. Yellow's like really heavily based on the show. Did you ever play Fire Emblem Warriors? No, I didn't. I played a lot of old Fire Emblem games, like the SNES ones and some of the Game Boy Advance ones. But I didn't play Warriors. Watching your videos for years, and I love your content. You're number 3 of 5 channels that made my love for Pokemon grow. I wanted to see Emerald, but I'll only use Rosalia. I do like Rosalia, good Pokemon. Nobunaga's Ambition Sphere of Influence is probably your favorite of them. That might be the one I have, I'm not sure. I just keep leaning over and petting Sabu. Music makes you want to visit Tom Nook? That's great. Man, I miss old Animal Crossing. The new ones just don't, the newest one just didn't really hook me like I thought it would. Just now shot in the right corner. Is he supposed to be mimicking or miming a blowjob? Yes. I have 2 Shawn Michaels on screen. Wish they made another Pokemon Conquest. I bet you I'd really like that game. I've never gotten around to it, but I know I would like it because I'm a big fan of like Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre. Those are fun series. Did I get rid of that thing on screen? Yes, I did. Cool. Thought I'd double check. You would love it? Yeah, probably. I gotta, like, let's play it or something. What's this tweet? Why is someone tweeting this at me? Some wrestling thing. I'll check it later. Did anyone end up tweeting any of that tech advice? No. Damn. Really hoping someone would be able to figure that out. I'll retweet it again and hope for the best. Skella Jensen. Only played Animal Crossing on a Wii and Switch. I really like the original one, which was GameCube in English, but I know that in Japan it was an N64 game originally. Did you play The Outer Worlds? I did not. Heard it was just okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult did you feel today's Kecleon playthrough is? I don't know how to scale it from 1 to 10. It was pretty hard, though. A lot of the gym battles weren't bad because they'll make you a type, and then most types resist their own type, so that helps. But the actual, like, Pokemon champion was really hard. Because 1, Intimidate sucks, and 2, he constantly will turn you into a type, and then he has other Pokemon that are good against that type, and it just happens over and over. I like how back-to-back I have the Outer Worlds was mediocre at best, and Outer Worlds was really good in my opinion. Can you say New Leaf is the best modern Animal Crossing game? Which one was New Leaf? That's a pretty accurate representation of for that game. Oh, what? That, like, some people think it's really mediocre and some people love it? 3DS was New Leaf? Okay. Yeah, I didn't play that one. I barely had a 3DS. Like, I had a 3DS. I barely played anything on it because I got it pretty late. Would the challenge be easier with protein instead of color change? It's a hidden ability in later games. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Do you play Super Smash Brothers games? Yeah. I grew up with the original and with Melee. And every once in a blue moon, I play the one on Switch, and that one's really good. Changes your type based on what move you use. Does it change it before or after you do the move? Cats are doing good. Sabu was just in here a minute ago, but it looks like he left. Ultimate was your first ever video game. Ultimate. What's Ultimate? Before you use the move, it changes your type. Damn, that's strong. So you get stabbed with every attacking move. That sounds really strong. And that gives you more control over what type you are, too. It doesn't just put you at the mercy of whatever they use on you. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Oh! So you only got into video games recently, then? Because that's... I mean, it's not a new game, but it's not old. Oh, welcome to video games. Oh, pre-Gen 9 it changes it every move. Post-Gen 9 it only changes it for the first move. That's not quite as strong. Love how Smash 4 basically has its own version of City Trials. Yeah, that is cool. I mean, Kirby Air Ride was made by the same dude who made Smash. God, I'm so proud of my Kirby Air Ride Let's Play. I've been playing video games for 7 years, don't really require any. Welcome to video games. God, is Smash Brothers Ultimate really 7 years old? That is nuts. It feels like it just happened. I've been playing video games since 1994. Sword and Shield are 5 years old. See, that's crazy too, because I remember when they came out. Your Kirby Air Ride Let's Play is really, really great. Thank you. I like to think so as well. Ugh, I should probably stop streaming and make myself some dinner soon. I don't wanna. How do you feel about Switch 2? I mean, I can't fully know until it comes out, I guess, but I like the concept. I like my Switch a lot, so just a newer, slightly bigger, slightly stronger Switch, yeah, I'm cool with that. It's like just getting a better Game Boy or something, you know? Yeah, I'm glad it's backwards compatible as well, or else I would consider not even getting it. Yeah, don't worry, I drink a lot of water. I have a 64-ounce bottle on my desk. No, I don't want it, just killed me. Yeah. If you know Nintendo wasn't backwards compatible until the Wii? Is that true? Oh yeah, that's true. Although in fairness, nothing was backwards compatible until then. Name one console before that generation that was backwards compatible. Was the Dreamcast backwards compatible with Saturn? Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's true, Game Boy, but I'm talking home consoles. Yeah, PS2 had PS1 backwards compatibility, but that wasn't until GameCube. And then GameCube backwards compatible with the Wii. Like, what I'm saying is it wasn't the standard at the time, you know? That didn't become the standard until PS2, basically. Original PS3s were backwards compatible through emulation. Like, the original PS3s had an emulator on them. Later PS3s weren't backwards compatible, which is really weird. Tips on beating Pokerogue. I don't know. I don't really have any great tips. I haven't beaten it yet. Yeah, 64 ounces is a lot. It's almost 2 liters. And I drink more than one of this a day. I drink like 1.5 Phillips of this a day. Wasn't Genesis backwards compatible with Master System? Was it? I never had a Master System. I'm not sure. I know that Sega Saturn obviously wasn't backwards compatible with the Genesis. That's what I had in mind. Oh no, hunger is starting to hit me. If you played Mega Man Zero, yeah, I played like the first 2, I want to say. Good games, yes, the difficulty spikes are kind of ridiculous. I did not beat them. They're good though. Will you do this again in the future? Yeah. I mean, this is basically what my pre-streams all are, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch for all these years. It's just hanging out with the chat. And then eventually I play a game and we do like the Let's Play side of it, you know? But this is basically just one long pre-stream. Haven't quoted Nancy Drew in a while. Oh, that's true. Atari was backwards compatible, yes. I think I'm gonna stand by what I said, though, if it wasn't the standard at the time. Because we were talking about how the Wii is the first one to be backwards compatible for Nintendo. And I said, well, yeah, but backwards compatibility was, like, just becoming the standard. There's outliers, you know, Atari 7800, which didn't sell well, but, you know, it was backwards compatible, and then there was a whole lot of consoles that weren't. Keep getting your ass kicked on the 145 rifle fight. Yeah, I get stuck around there too. I don't think I've even gotten to 150. I think my record was like what was I getting stuck on again? I don't remember. Favorite human character from Pokemon? I have no idea. I don't watch the show. I watched the first season when I was a kid. That was it. And like the first 2 movies. I'll say Brock. I remember him being cool. No stomach, don't growl. You're not allowed. I don't want to take a break. I do have to do another 1,000 steps before midnight to meet my step count for the day. But that's not a big deal. That'll take me like 10 minutes. How long is Crazy Crusher versus Hellstorm? Like 20 minutes? YouTube knows me too well. I type in the word crazy and one of my auto-completes is the match. Let me click this. It's like half an hour. Yeah, my stomach might rebel against me too hard. It's 27 minutes. Oh, my stomach's starting to growl. Oh no. Worst mistake playing a Pokemon game as a kid? Using a Master Ball and a Megamar. Yeah, I have no idea. Getting stuck on Mount Moon on your first ever Pokemon playthrough, which is Let's Go. And you're saying that's as a kid. Man, you must be young. Gotta go to class. I hope class goes well. Go eat? What am I gonna make? Maybe I'll make some egg fried rice. You're 14? You're pretty young then. Don't let me be a bad influence. Could you do a legacy Pokemon run? I'm not sure what you mean. It's too late? Damn. So you must be like just starting high school, right? I think I was 14 when I started high school. Something like that. I hope you survive high school well. I didn't really like high school that much. Top of the class? Hell yeah. I didn't like high school that much. Yeah, you know, I had fun like on lunch and stuff, hanging out with friends. I wasn't really great at high school. Honestly, most of what I learned in high school was not even remotely useful. The most important part of high school going forward for me is just it's really good social practice. You're just, you know, just being around other students and whatever and talking to people and navigating the social situations of school. I feel like that was more important for developing into an adult than any of the classes were. Are you reading any books at the moment? If so, what are you reading at the moment? I'm not actually reading anything right now. I don't think I've read anything in like a year. Just been so busy working. Clearly you weren't a major student as your job is playing Pokemon for 453,000 adoring fans on YouTube. I mean, I don't have that many people watching anymore. Whew, it's been a while. I am well past my peak. Depends on what you do for a living. If you get a PhD, your early classes are pretty important. That's true. I'm not saying that classes aren't important, mind you. I'm just saying my personal experience going through high school, almost nothing that I learned in the classes carried over into my adult life. It was the time between classes and outside of classes that was important. School was important, just not so much the classes. But that's just my life, you know? If you're in a different career, then obviously other things might be useful. You know, if you're gonna get into auto body, then obviously if your school can teach you welding and stuff, then that's probably gonna be very important for you. You started reading Tales from the Gas Station 4, a horror comedy. Well, I hope you've been enjoying that. As long as you keep outputting challenge videos make me question your sanity, I'm good. As long as you're still having fun with it. Anyone replied with a fix yet? PC reserves RAM for other things that likely explains the difference. The utility won't get you in either. I believe your only option is resetting the CMOS, so reset the BIOS. Ugh. And check if there's an updated BIOS and update it. As a reply to him saying, I can't update the BIOS because I can't get in my BIOS to tell it to update. Out of every Pokemon challenge you've done, what's the easiest, what's the hardest? I get asked that a lot. I don't know. Easiest was probably Pokemon Blue with Drowsy or Pokemon Red with Ghastly. They were both really quick and easy. Hardest, I don't know. One of the ones I lost. Platinum with Shanks, Emerald with Wobbuffet, something like that. Decently sure you know more about American politics than the average adult at 15. Or 14. If you know the branches of government and how a law gets passed, then yes, you do know more than the average American adult in politics. Just, honestly, you don't even need to specify American. You wouldn't believe how many people I see online acting like they know everything that would solve the world when it comes to politics, and they don't know how a law gets passed. They don't know what people do in Congress. They don't know what people do in the House. They don't know what the Senate is. They don't know what a senator's job is. They don't know the job of the Supreme Court. They don't know any of this stuff. But they have strong opinions on who should be on the Supreme Court, or who should be a senator, or who should be in the House, or what would fix the ills of the country. And yet they don't know anything about how the political system actually functions day to day. If you don't know how any of it actually functions, then, you know, you can come up with your cute theories and everything, but it doesn't work in practice, you know? You do indeed? That's good. Have a good foundation. If you have a good foundation of actually knowing how your government functions, then it's easier to more accurately build upon that with the more esoteric knowledge, without just flying off into fantasy land like a lot of people do, you know? You thought about playing Yellow Legacy? Not for one of my challenges, no. I'm not really interested in doing, like, a bunch of ROM hacks for the challenges, but for Let's Plays, yeah, maybe. US government's very complicated, that's true. Governments in general are very complicated. It's like a deep company, you know? A government is essentially a very complicated company. Almost like a series of companies. It's like COVID outbreaks when all of a sudden there were 6.7 billion doctors online, all assuming they knew everything. Yup. I remember when the outbreak first happened in China. I have family in China, so I heard about it early. And I was letting some of my friends know, like, hey, there's a pretty bad disease hitting China right now, and you're probably going to hear about it soon, and it's going to hit everywhere. You might want to, like, stock up on some essentials. I was telling people, like, buy some, like, bags of grains, some potatoes, you know, those kinds of things that are going to last you a long time, just in case there's shortages. They looked at me like I was fucking weird. They weren't looking at me like I was weird 2 months later. I had so much rice stockpiled, I was good to go. Think about it this way. You see a lot of people online being very hyperbolic about politics. And maybe you're watching this and you're thinking, you're naive though. I'm not hyperbolic. The fact that I am very animated and emotional about politics, for I know that the country is collapsing and the world is collapsing and this and that. And that you simply are not panicked enough. Some people think that way. That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But think about it this way. You never see me freaking out about these political things. It's not because I'm not plugged in. I pay attention too. I have political opinions too. I'm not one of these people who spouts off every last political opinion that goes through their head like I'm some kind of expert. But when I do speak up, it's probably because I'm actually fairly certain of something, because I have good evidence behind it. Which is why one of the only times I ever spoke up was going to people that I know and saying, hey, you should stockpile a little bit of food in case there's food shortages when this disease hits. And I was right. The world is collapsing, but I don't panic because I don't try to prevent the inevitable. I don't think the world's collapsing. GSS Prince Vegeta. Sorry, it's much funnier if we also have the name attached to that. I love the idea of like a prime minister somewhere up on a stage in some country taking questions from the public. And the public says, the world is collapsing. What will you do, Mr. Prime Minister? And he says, I don't think that the world is collapsing, GSS Prince Vegeta. I think everything will be A-okay. Did you warn people about toilet paper, though? I didn't need to. The only country that actually had toilet paper shortages was Australia. There's a news story that went around and it made everyone panic buy toilet paper. In reality, the only country that had an issue with it was Australia. The vast majority of countries on Earth locally produce their toilet paper because it's light and it's bulky, which makes it bad for air travel. So every country just locally produces it. But Australia does not locally produce most of their toilet paper. They import most of it, which is why Australia actually did have shortages. Got home from sitting in the air for 8 hours to find out, yep, I have gout in my right wrist. So much fun, but hey, Alvi seems to help as that's what's diagnosed. Hey, I hope it helps. Sorry about your gout. That's a bummer. You're correct. The world isn't collapsing, it's burning to a crisp. It's not. People are very hyperbolic, I will say. Everything will be fine. It's not that bad things won't happen. Bad things always happen. So do good things. Everything is gonna be okay. No reason to panic. Panicking never makes anything better. I feel like panic buying did make it harder to go get toilet paper for a little while. It depends on where, yeah. Some places did have local shortages just because of panic buying, even though there was no shortage in terms of supply. Demand went up, but supply didn't go down. That's the thing. Australia was like the only place where supply went down. It was just panic buying that caused the problem, whereas in Australia, no, there was legitimately a supply issue. A lot of people in Ireland who just heard about the toilet paper shortage in Australia at the time, so a lot of Irish people started buying a lot of toilet paper. Yeah, that happened in a lot of countries. That happened over here as well. Like how people say that sea levels rise and put cities underwater when it amounts to a couple of feet over several decades. Yeah, like there's nothing worse than a scientist making a really hard, like a hard line prediction that sounds really scary, because it gets a whole lot of people very worked up, and those predictions are almost never accurate. And then things swing the other way, where people think that there is no problem because the scientists keep getting hard predictions wrong. That's why you don't make these fucking hard predictions. It doesn't help anything. We're in the US scrambling for toilet paper while I just use baby wipes. Yeah, I think gout might have a different name in different languages. Although I think the name gout is a really old name. Like, I think we called it gout even in, like, medieval times. And that is true. Even, like, a few inches in low elevation areas, that could be a lot of flooding. If you're in a low elevation place where no one has a basement because it's below sea level raising by a few inches can be a really big deal. You don't need to be all hyperbolic and be like, cities will be underwater. Like, no, it still has consequences, you know? But it doesn't sound as sexy, so that doesn't hit the news. How many challenge videos do you have down the pipeline? So the way it works is I'm always, every week I am playing a challenge run and I'm editing a challenge run / voicing over a challenge run. So tomorrow I'm going to be starting on a challenge run that will be going up in 3 weeks. Every week I'm doing the challenge run that will go up in 3 weeks, and I'm editing the challenge run that will go up in 2 weeks. And I have already completed and edited the challenge run that will be up that week. Look at how much damage Katrina did, and that was just a hurricane in a lower area. Yeah. That was years ago. I feel old now. Yeah, Katrina is a while ago now. You're almost a month ahead? Yeah, about that. Almost. It's like 3 weeks. Ish. But when I say ahead, I don't mean like all those are done. I mean, that's what I'm working on, you know? The only challenge right now that is fully done is the one coming out this coming Saturday. It's already up on Patreon. People on Patreon can watch it right now. Doesn't matter if you pledge $1, you can watch it. And then everyone on Twitter gets it 1 day early. And then it goes up on Saturday. And by the time that that's up, I will probably have the next one edited. In fact, if I end up doing the editing really early in the week, then I might even have the challenge for after that done tomorrow, and I could have that up on Patreon. But often I do the editing later in the week, or I finish the editing later in the week. You actually made me want to try doing a video a day for YouTube when I first started, which is a year ago, and it'll be 2 years in August. I don't recommend it because there is no benefit to it beyond it's a good practice. Like it's, you get a lot of practice in because you're putting a lot of hours in. It doesn't need to literally be a video a day to get good practice though. Have you ever uploaded the wrong challenge for a particular week? No, I don't believe so. I keep a schedule for that. I have a Trello page where I just write them down in order of what I'm doing. And plus, how could I upload the wrong one? Because I don't have the next one done by the time it's, like, airing. At least not usually. It's very rare that I do. Saw a meme where if a hurricane's accuracy is 75 wide, Florida get hit by 2, and to that I say there's still a 56% chance of that happening. Yeah. 75% chance happening twice is not all that rare. We've all played Pokemon, right? You've done a 70 accuracy move and hit twice in a row. It's not that crazy. You've hit Thunder twice in a row, I'm sure. I remember sitting in elementary school and my teacher saying, watching the news, freaking out. I almost got in trouble because I said, "You're old, won't you be dead in 50 years? Yeah, you'd get in trouble for that. Challenge idea, Pokemon you can only use moves below 80 accuracy. Oof, I've had similar recommendations before, yeah. Sometimes they pick a different number for the accuracy, but yeah, about that, about 80. It's Hurricane 75, I thought it was 70 like Thunder. If we're talking Pokemon, yeah. Speaking of editing, what's the software you use now? Oh, same as the old tutorial series on how I edit challenges. Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop. I don't recommend that to people, though. It's not that it's bad software, it's that it's very needlessly expensive software. A lot of people I know who do this professionally use DaVinci Resolve, which is free. You can buy a license for it to get like a different version or whatever, but I know loads of people who just use the free version and they make a living on YouTube. Named my character after your channel. Oh, did a Pokemon challenge in Yellow where I wasn't allowed to catch any Pokemon during the main story until I beat the Pokemon League. Oh, that's fun. I hope you had fun with that. What Pokemon do you think has the weirdest evolution? I don't know. I don't know. That's difficult. There's a lot of Pokemon. Black with only Braviary and Mandibuzz. So I'd have to like start with one and then catch the other, I think. Because isn't it one's a version exclusive? Thanks for the input, I appreciate it. Oh, happy to help. Yeah, for audio editing, use Audacity. That's a freeware one. It's a freeware audio editing software that is very commonly used, even by people who do this for a living. It's fully compatible with VST plugins and stuff, so you can find basically anything you need to find. And there's a billion tutorials for it on YouTube that can help you use it. I was using that in high school. That's how they taught us, was with that in high school. And although I use Adobe Audition nowadays because I have the Adobe editing suite, Audacity is still a really great piece of software. And then DaVinci Resolve for video editors. I don't use it, but I have a lot of friends who use it. A lot of other YouTubers who do this professionally use it. It has a free version, which is very good. It's like a really good free version. And if you buy it, it's not a subscription fee like Adobe is. It's literally cheaper to just buy DaVinci Resolve than it is to use the Adobe editing suite for 1 month. It's ridiculous. So DaVinci Resolve, fantastic software. I know a lot of people who have moved over to using it full time and there's no regrets. For fuck's sake, Red Letter Media, everybody's seen them. They love their editing. They used Adobe Premiere until like last year, and then they finally switched over to using DaVinci Resolve, and I bet you've seen no difference in the editing. In fact, DaVinci Resolve can open Adobe Premiere files, so it's very easy to switch over. Use Audacity for saving my MP3 copies of songs. There you go, you already know how to use it, perfect. One thing you're able to do with the challenge is trade Pokemon between games. I also bought Pokemon from the Game Corner and trade them into Pokemon Blue. Okay. You should do another metronome only run? No and never. How long have I been live? Just over 3 hours. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Can you get metronome to use metronome again and again? I don't think you can metronome the move metronome, but someone's got to look into that. I'm sure someone has looked into that, and I just don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I've never done it myself, at least not as far as I've noticed or remember. I would imagine Metronome is probably disqualified from it. Although, it wouldn't shock me if I learned that, like, Gen 1, you could metronome, and it wasn't until, like, later gens that they stopped that. Not that it really matters, like, it wouldn't make any difference, and the chance of you metronoming multiple times in a row is, like, so unbelievably low, but still. You could theoretically soft lock the game with infinite metronomes. Yeah, but, like, with how big the move list is, I imagine that, like, it would be such a statistic anomaly, it would just never happen. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I could get struck by lightning 1,000 times in a row right now, but that will never happen. It is so rare, it simply will never happen, you know? It's like getting the 256 glitch 20 times in a row to run out of power points on Rage in Gen 1. That just won't happen. It's, like, mathematically it's possible, but, like, if someone were to sit there and do it over and over, the average time it would take to do that is probably, like, 1 trillion years. The battery in the cartridge would die before it actually happens. Did you know that you can get an Evolved Stone Evolution Pokemon in Gen 1 without the Evolution Stones? I feel like I've heard that you can do that, but I don't know how off the top of my head. People said going to the moon would never happen, but here we are. Yeah, but going to the moon is like that was like a technological feat, not a statistics feat. With statistics, it's time and attempts, you know? There's no new technology that would make that more likely to happen. The game is the game. If we were to change the game to make it more likely to happen, well, that's manipulating the odds. RNG manips. Yeah. I mean, if you found a way to do it, yeah. But my specific example of, like, you know, you could do Rage 20 times in a row and get 256 glitch each time, but the chance of that actually happening is so low it'll never happen. That's an example of how bad the odds are. You could say, like, yeah, maybe if you hacked the programming, you could change it so that the 256 glitch happens 1 in 10 times. Yeah, but that's not the example. Doesn't Rage not lock you in if you miss? Yes, if you miss the initial one, then it doesn't lock you in. And that's where the insanity comes from, is hypothetically losing all 20 power points due to missing Rage 20 times in a row. And it's a 100 accuracy move, so in Gen 1, you'd have to miss through the 256 glitch. And it's not like you could miss them not in a row, because if you miss while you're already locked into Rage, because you landed one of them, that miss doesn't make the Rage stop. So you would have to actually miss 20 in a row, not just 20 total. That came up in a creator's recent video because RNG old games uses small number storage. Certain things are actually impossible. See, I didn't even know that. So Black 2 can get Mandibuzz with its hidden ability Weak Armor on Thursdays on Route 4. So you would have to start with Braviary. Okay. Well, you know what? Tomorrow I'm starting the voiceover and the editing on Pokemon White 2 with only one Paris. And that run is crazy. It doesn't come out this coming week, but it'll come out the week after. I mean, unless you're on Patreon. If you're on my Patreon, then, like, who knows? I could get the whole thing edited tomorrow. It's unlikely, because I'm probably gonna be recording with some friends that day, so I won't have all the time in the world. But, yeah, like, it could come out tomorrow on Patreon. It'll come out sometime next week on Patreon for sure. That run is nuts. I was absolutely convinced it would be impossible. But, like, I got so much farther than I thought I would. It was nuts. It was really awesome. It wasn't even like just sheer luck or anything either. Like it was just, I came up with some really creative solutions that I'm very proud of, and it ended up working out. There was also just some really funny moments where being double weak to flying had insane consequences. Did you know that Paris is the only Pokemon to ever have 3 quad weaknesses? Yeah, that's true. Gen 1 only, too, because Bug is weak to Poison in Gen 1. In fact, Bug and Poison are weak against each other in Gen 1, which is also so weird. That's, I think that's the only time ever in a Pokemon game that there were 2 types that were weak against each other. Was Gen 1 Bug and Poison. Only one Paris, I love you, but question your sanity. Yeah, I like Gen 1 Paris runs. They're fun, but they're very hard. Because it's frail, it's double weak against a lot of things, and is weak against a lot of things in general, and is very slow. The only saving grace with Paris, other than like decent attack, the only saving grace with Paris is it has a move Spore. It's a 100 accuracy sleep move, so it's very strong, like really, really good move, but you're so slow that you're often going second anyway, so it's not as good as it would be on something else. And the thing is, almost every Pokemon that learns Spore is a very slow Pokemon. The fastest Pokemon in the whole series that can learn Spore is, I don't remember its name. You know that like ground type Tentacruel? I think it's in like Legends Arceus. That's the fastest Pokemon in the franchise that can learn Spore. Do you know that prior to Gen 3, all dark moves are special? That's true. I talk about that often in my videos. Gen 4, all existing dark moves became physical. Is that true? Was Dark Pulse not special? Or was that not in Gen 4? Really want to see a bad moves only run in red. See, that's subjective. What's our cutoff on what is and is not a bad move? Hype for the return of Deus Ex? Hell yeah. I gotta edit it, but we've already recorded like several hours of Deus Ex. I've already got like, let me think, like 7 hours? I might have like 7 hours of Deus Ex all recorded that I just need to edit and then put up in the channel in the playlist. We're getting fairly close to the end of the game. Love your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was weird how Bite and Crunch are special. Well, the reason that they were special is because in Gen 1, Ghost type was physical, because the only direct damage Ghost move in the game was Lick, and that's clearly a physical move. So they made Ghost physical. And then in Gen 2, they made Dark as a counter to Psychic, because Psychic was OP. But it's super effective against the same things that Ghost is. So they didn't want it to be physical as well, so they made it special. That's why Dark type was special and Ghost type was physical until Gen 4 when, you know, moves individually became physical or special. Only Rage, Razor Wind, Roar, Whirlwind, Splash, Poison Sting, Bite, and Sky Attack. That is so specific. I mean, 2 of those moves do nothing in trainer battles. 3 of them, I guess, because Splash does nothing in any battle. If you make a new version of the Gen 1 starters with a double typing for a new Pokemon game, what double typing would you give the starters? A new version of the Gen 1 starters with so you mean like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander, if I could change their typings to a different double? Am I just guessing what a sensible double type would be for them, or am I redesigning them? Because, like, I would say that Squirtle would be, if you're going to add a type to Squirtle that would make sense for a Squirtle, I would say ground type. But, like, am I redesigning them? Like, am I allowed to make him water and electric? You know? That's up to you. Okay, if it's up to me, then I'm guessing you mean that second theory I floated. Water and electric sounds pretty cool for a Squirtle. He can have the sunglasses, some electric about that. I don't know, metal. He did do an only peck challenge. That is true. Didn't I allow wing attack in that because they're the same move in Gen 1? What else? It's Charmander. Ground. Fire and ground. That's pretty cool. Bulbasaur. Man, I gotta get rid of the poison type. Bulbasaur is my favorite starter. Partly because I just really like Bulbasaur, and partly because it's grass and poison is my favorite type. So if I had to get rid of poison type on it and switch it for something else. I mean, grass and fire would be cool, but I don't want it to have fire type considering there's Charmander with fire type. I want it to have no overlap with the other starters. Grass and Psychic. That'd be kind of cool. Ever thought about doing a run with a team of only your 6 favorite Pokemon? See, I can't do that. I'd have to come up with 6 favorite Pokemon. That's really hard. I'm too indecisive for that. You would make Charmander Fire Water? Oh, okay. I mean, it would be cool because it's like a salamander. I wouldn't do that just for the aforementioned thing if I don't want it to overlap with types on another thing. But, you know, do whatever you want. Is Bulbasaur the only Gen 1 Pokemon that can learn Toxic and Leech Seed? I think you're right. Isn't it the only Gen 1 Pokemon that learns Leech Seed, just in general? I think it is. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. There's probably another one. You done a Beldum solo run? No, and I probably never will. That would not be fun to play and not be fun to watch. Run of only a team of Dittos. That's a maybe. That's a maybe. Multiple Dittos wouldn't be as bad as one Ditto as long as I can liberally use rare candies. Because grinding with Ditto is nightmarish. Checking online who Beldum is? You know Metagross? It's the first form of that one. You gonna do any X and Y challenges this year? Yeah, I did one at the end of last year, too. It was your Christmas present, remember? Oh, one of your Christmas presents. I gave you guys a few. Did you know that Wartortle was supposed to evolve into something else, and Blastoise was a different Pokemon evolution line? I didn't know that, but that does not surprise me to learn. There was a lot of that in Gen 1. Gen 1 learn set for Leech Seed is Bulbasaur and Execute. That's the other one that learns it. See, I thought there was probably one. Man, Executor is such a cool-ass Pokemon. I love that one. That's the one. I should learn Gen 1 to 4 English names. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I can only assume that all the names are different in Chinese. Actually, there's a good question. Did they bother coming up with different Pokemon names for Cantonese and Mandarin? Or is it all just written so it's just Chinese? Favorite Gen 1 fact is there's a Professor Oak battle coded in the game, but it was never actually added. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like a secret final post-game boss, not unlike how Red was in Gen 2. I'm actually French, so I don't know about that. Oh, okay. So you're French, but you live in China. Okay. You studying abroad, or did you just move there for, just for fun? Oh, man. 11, 12. Working there as a teacher? I hope you're having fun with that. Scott's Thoughts usually adds the oak fight at the end of his yellow challenges. Oh, that's cool. I might be hanging out with Scott tomorrow. I don't know if he'll be free for the hangout, though. Me, Suki, possibly Scott, and Paraspector. We're all YouTube streamer people. We're gonna try and get together to play some Resident Evil Outbreak, an Outbreak file too. I'll record it, it'll be fun. Scott might be there for it. I don't think he's confirmed whether he's there or not for it. No, it's not a priority right now. Have you considered Platinum or Heart Gold Soul Silver with only one Piplup? I've definitely considered Platinum with one Piplup. I don't know if I specifically had a request of Heart Gold Soul Silver, although nothing wrong with trying it. Would you want to live in the Pokemon universe? Nah, I don't think so. Rattata should be normal type. Wouldn't that make it double weak to fighting, though? You heard that Resident Evil 0 is getting a remake. You know what? I think that's a game that might really benefit from a remake. That's a game with a cool start to it, and then it kind of flies off a cliff. You said yes, you'd have to sacrifice your cats? Oof. Yeah, not willing to do that. Would there be any challenges you think would end at the Distortion Run Cyrus? Or Distortion World Cyrus? I mean, probably. Not off the top of my head. But yeah, there's probably some that would get just totally brick-walled at him. He's not like the hardest trainer in the game. There's definitely points in the game that get a lot harder. But I have had many times where I got to Cyrus and he was very difficult and I had to grind a lot before I could beat him. He's not an easy trainer, at least not usually. Unless you have, like, electric moves. If you got electric moves, you actually have a kind of an easy time with them. You named any in-game Pokemon after my cats? Yeah. A few times. Rocky and Cebu. Life's cool here. I have no regret at all. No, the government is not overwatching me right now. Yeah, I mean, they're not watching you 24/7. They could do an information request and get it and get any info they want on you. It's how they are. You know, if a company has more than 20 employees over there, then then they have to, by law, have a member of the CCP there. And the CCP can request any info from the company, and the company has to hand it over. But that doesn't mean that they got some dude in an office somewhere watching every last thing you do every single millisecond. I'm no fan of the CCP. I have very personal reasons for not liking the CCP and how horrific they've been to family and many people that I know. However, I'm not a crazy person who thinks that they quite literally are spying on every single person at every single waking moment. That's not exactly how it works. Just because the country's government is pretty much run by the mob doesn't mean that the entire country is just a hellhole. China, culturally, and geography, and everything but the government, really, and the consequences of the government, China's pretty badass. The government is abominable, but nothing I can do about it. Not feasible to do that amount of spying. Here's the thing, they do that amount of spying. It's not feasible for them to see the consequences of all the spying. They can get the info, but there's no reason for them to look at all of the info at all the time, you know? It's like you can have a billion cameras in the streets looking at every person with facial ID recognition, scanning every person. They do that. But you don't have people watching every camera at every moment because there's no point in that. You have that footage so that you can check it when you need to check it. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, they use it for nefarious purposes. They also use it for good purposes, but they also use it for nefarious purposes. I'm not saying like, oh, don't worry, they're spying on you, but they're only gonna check it if they need to. No, they'll check it for bad reasons too. They do that plenty. However, if there's any peace of mind I can give you, it's that, no, they don't literally have someone reading it at all times. That's insane. As long as you're doing nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about. Okay, that's not true. Because they use it for nefarious purposes plenty. They will use information requests to steal intellectual property. They do it to spy on foreign journalists. They do it to jail foreign journalists. They do it for some very nefarious reasons. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear, is always wrong in any country. However, the peace of mind is the government may try to spy on everyone, but they are not competent enough to actually see everything at all times. They're not omnipotent. Nobody is omnipotent. That is impossible. If they could, they would, but they can't, so they don't. Just saw a Civ 7 commercial on TV. I'm excited for that one. I hope it's good. Civ games are usually quite good on launch. That makes sense? Yeah. I'm not saying that the CCP are good. The CCP are basically the mob. The Politburo is basically a mafia. But like any mafia, they aren't, it's not like they're just pure evil, just murdering people left and right, just being fuckers to be fuckers. No, they're being fuckers to stay in control. And part of being in control is trying to keep things stable. And part of that is going to be very nefarious, and part of that is going to actually bring good things to people. It's like the Yakuza. Nobody thinks the Yakuza is pure evil, but we can all agree that they do plenty of things that are not in people's best interest. You're never going to catch me saying that the CCP is a good government. They're not. However, you don't need to worry about them just being Satan incarnate, because they're also not that. They are controlled by humans, and humans are not just pure evil. Everybody thinks they're the hero of their own story. And to think that you're the hero of the story, you have to be doing at least something that people approve of. Nobody's trying to make it worse. If they weren't control freaks, Mr. Calf wouldn't have to be on a VPN right now. That's pretty self-explanatory. You seem well-informed, too well-informed. CCP coming for you. I am very well-informed on it. I have family on the inside, 1. And 2, you know the channel China Uncensored? Very good channel. They actually, they do a lot of underground stuff, at least more so back in the day when they were allowed in the country. They're really good people, the people who run them. I know some of them personally. Genuinely really nice people and very well-educated people on the actual day-to-day ongoings of the Chinese government. In fact, if you've ever seen their YouTube gaming streams that they do over on Gamers Unbeaten, I'm the guy who taught them how to do YouTube gaming streams. I got in a call with Matt Ganeshda and taught him how to do it. There's a fun fact for you. No, those guys, though, in case you don't know, they really do give a shit about China. They really genuinely adore China. And that is why they have such a problem with the CCP. Like, I've seen, like, the martial arts recitals of Wushu that Chris Chappell does. They actually genuinely adore Chinese culture, and they really want China to have a better government one day. That's why they don't just shit on China. they shit on the government, because it deserves to be shat on sometimes. But they don't shit on the people, because the people deserve better. Nobody suffers more under the Chinese Communist Party than the Chinese. They're the biggest victims of them. They deserve better. They didn't choose this shit, they were born into this shit. It's like how you look at the culture of North Korea. Nobody blames your average North Korean for their insane government. The population of North Korea are victims. They're blameless. They were born in the wrong place and they got fucked over for it. Nobody's fault but the government. Anyway, it is almost 11:30. I'm damn hungry. I gotta get another 1,000 steps in the next 40 minutes for the sake of my step tracking, even though I'm probably gonna be up for another few hours. Then I get ready to get right back to work tomorrow. I kind of didn't work today, but I also kind of like studied for work tomorrow, got prepped for it and everything, made the ROM in the randomizer for tomorrow. I'm starting on a Pokemon Gold with only bug type Pokemon run. So I made the ROM for that. I've got that all ready to go. I made the file for where the script is gonna be. Got that prepped. And it's funny, the fact to me that we had the same birthday, but I live on the opposite side of the globe. Oh, that's awesome. September 22nd? Now, is it 1992 or do we have a different year? Because I met someone recently where we have the same day and the same year. I don't remember who it was, but it was someone in my chat. That was so crazy. Year is different? All right, fair. It would have been real crazy if we were the same year. Brother, mother, and father all have the same birthday. That is nuts. That's rare. Your dad was born September 22nd. See, September babies are really common because it's 9 months after Christmas and New Year's, and there's a lot of Christmas and New Year's babies. So September is just a very common month to be born in. That's why it's not at all weird to me when I get like similar or same birthdays as people. There's just so many September babies. Whew. 4:25 a.m. for you in Ireland. I hope you sleep well, man. Or that, or you woke up very early. You're February 2001. Damn, it's still crazy to me that people born after the year 2000 are adults, but like, no, you've been an adult for a while, right? I mean, 2001, you're like 23 or 24, am I right? I guess it depends on your month. You said February, yeah. That's crazy. Like, 2001, what was I doing? Sitting in French class, thinking about how the year sounded weirder than the year before. Almost 24. Where was I when I was 24? I was either living in that shoebox in Toronto or I had just moved out of it. We're as close to 2050 as we are 2000. That's weird to think. The odds of your parents and brother having the same birthday is 1 in 133,000 families. That is wild. 2001, I was watching TV when they hit the second tower. That's crazy. See, I would have been in school when it happened, I think. And also, I was still living in Dunville in the middle of nowhere. So, like, the news hit us kind of late. I don't think we even knew while we were at school. I don't think I heard the news till I got home. A lot of people, like, they have a vivid memory of when they learned that the towers fell. I don't remember it. I remember that it did, obviously. And I would have learned of it, like, the same week, I'm sure. But, like, I don't remember when I found out. I don't think I had, like, I don't think the gravity of it really hit me. I don't think I really understood. Yeah, we just lived in the middle of nowhere. Then also I lived in a different country, and I lived in Canada, and that happened in the United States. But it didn't happen that far away. I mean, that was New York. That's very close to Southern Ontario. Southern Ontario borders upstate New York. So, you know, it's not that far. A lot of people back then used to day trip from Ontario to New York because our dollar was stronger than yours back then. Not anymore. Now our dollar is way weaker than the American dollar. Me neither. No memory of seeing that or TV or people talking about it. Yeah, I just didn't. Not born during 9/11. Yeah, you're too young for that. To you, it's just a historical fact that you learned in school, I guess. Which to me is crazy, but like, yeah, it's, dude, like everyone under the age of like 23, I guess, wasn't alive for 9/11. In fact, even 24-year-olds now, like, they're not gonna remember 9/11. They were like a baby, you know? I guess if you're under the age of like 20, like, what's even the youngest age that you could comprehend 9/11? Like 5? You might at some level comprehend 9/11. So if you're you gotta be like at least late 20s to comprehend 9/11 when it happened on some level. How crazy is that? Brutal historical fact. Makes me sad and depressed to learn about. Yeah. Just know that airplanes were totally different. Airplanes and airports were totally different before you were born. Airplanes and airports used to be super chill until 9/11. As soon as 9/11 happened, like, if you ever think that like airports are the strictest thing ever, it was 9/11 that did that. Before that, it was super chill. Some people think that it was 9/11 why you can't bring like liquids onto airplanes. That actually wasn't until like a terrorist attack in 2006. That's why we have Homeland Security. Yeah, that's how the Patriot Act got passed. I think I'm remembering the name right, Patriot Act, which is basically that act that lets the American government spy on their own people really hardcore. And the shoe bomber thing, yeah. Was that 2006? It might have been. $34 here now. I was 6th grade. It was so crazy. Yeah, I'm 32. So I was like 4th grade. Probably a lot scarier for Americans, although people in Toronto were really fucking worried because we were so close to that. And Toronto's also a major urban center, so we were thinking like, shit, are they gonna hit here too? Like, you know, like, it's so close, and it's also a major population center, a major urban center. It wouldn't be that shocking if something happened in Toronto as well. I bet you LA was freaking out too, just because huge urban center. You remember going to spring break in 4th grade and never going back because of COVID? Oh, yeah. Man, that's crazy. Because, like, obviously I wasn't in school for COVID. So, I mean, that must have messed up your education so bad. I can't even imagine being in grade school for COVID. That must have sucked. Being in 4th grade for COVID just made my back hurt. Oh my god, I'm old. Yeah. Just know, King Logan, that everything you say is gonna make everyone older than you feel so fucking old. Yeah, dude, like, technology has progressed so fast that, like, your upbringing in terms of like what your school must be like, that brings you joy. Your upbringing and how your school is like, you're like from a different world than people who are in their late 20s to early 30s. It is crazy how fast technology has progressed over the course of just my life. So I've been an adult for a very large amount of your life. To be able to, like, because, you know, half my life ago I was 16. So when you were born, I was like, what, 18? something like that. Like, well, you were born, I guess, 2010. So yeah, I was like 18 when you were born. So for your whole life, I've been an adult. That's crazy to think. So I've been able to, I can see how fast technology has progressed since then. Like the smartphone, right? Like original iPhones and stuff. People had them when I was in high school, but they didn't become the thing that every single person had until right after I finished high school. I know people who are like 3 years younger than me, and they tell me that their high school experience was completely different from mine because of technology. And then like yours is gonna be completely different from theirs. And like, you're just getting to high school. You're just starting that. COVID, 9/11, CCP policy, this is all the kind of regular conversation we can have some tea. How delightful. Yeah. So yeah, King Logan, your school experience is like alien to everybody else in the chat. It's gonna be so different. It's wild. Six other kids in my school have my first name. My computer science teacher is my first name. That's crazy. Yeah, my name is pretty unique in that I've never met another human in my life with my first name. I've never met another Mah-Dry-Bread. It's an ancient Welsh name. I'm likely never gonna meet another Mah-Dry-Bread in my life. It's just how it is. No one uses that name anymore. There's a reason I've gone by nicknames my whole life. Must be nice. It has its different challenges. Everyone gets your name wrong on the first try, to the point that you just stop caring. The difficult thing is that you need to get used to hearing names that are not even close to your name and realizing, oh, they're trying to talk to me. You got a fever of 101? Fuck, that sucks. I feel like I've seen your name. Have I seen your name in another chat room? I feel like I have. Yeah, I don't get my name on keychains on those personalized keychain racks. That's true. Man, it's crazy to think that The Simpsons has been bad since before you were born. The last good season of The Simpsons is before you were born. Will you play CK3 again? Yeah, absolutely. Such a good game. Got into your channel a few years back. You know what? I feel like I see your name in the comment section sometimes. Whenever you hear your name in school, you perk up and realize it's someone else. Dude, that used to happen to my friends all the time because I had like a few friends called Mike. What a common name. There's a lot of Mikes, you know? No, I've never met another Mah-Dry-Bread, obviously. I'm sure none of you have ever met another one. It's gotten to the point now where, like, whenever I get delivery people and they try my name, sometimes they get it right, and they're always very proud when they do. They always say, like, that's such a unique name, and I always say, you'll never meet another. And they always smile, because they can tell on my face I fucking mean that shit. You will never meet another. Got your first cell phone 2 years ago. Man, getting a cell phone at 12 is nuts. That would have not happened when I was 12. So I'm still different from the rest of my generation. For example, YouTube is the only social media app I have. I'm not gonna go saying that Twitter is as bad as people say. It really isn't. But like, if you were to start going on Twitter, just follow people that are fun. Don't go following like everything left and right, or else it's gonna be a bummer. What did I just vote yes for? It's a mystery. It turns out you can make a poll with no name. Isn't that fucking wild? Oh man, how's it like 11:36? All right, I should drag myself away. I gotta get cooking. I gotta get eating. I gotta get walking. I've been sitting for like 4 hours. I'm standing up now. Hey, question before I end this, everybody. First of all, do you have any like last minute questions or anything you want to say? Because I'm totally up for talking about whatever. And second, what was it? Do you have any last minute questions or things you want to say? And also, have I had any weird audio issues this whole stream? Like, have you heard like any weirdness where like I'm starting to say something and then it like cuts out a little bit or anything like that? What time is it where you live? 11:37 p.m., so almost midnight. Because I've been messing around with my compressor a little bit, and I just want to make sure that, like, I'm not having, or my noise gate, rather. My noise gate on my preamp. I've been messing around with it a little bit, and I just want to make sure that I don't have, like, breaths getting cut off halfway really sharp and abruptly, or S noise is not coming in, or it sounds kind of like the first word of my sentence maybe didn't get picked up, stuff like that. When's more Wrestling Empire? You know the rules. I can't answer when, I can't answer soon. I can answer if, and the answer is yes. Audio is fine? Awesome, awesome. Send some love to the kitties, can do. No audio issues, no audio issues, audio's been good. Do you like Stantler? Stantler's pretty cool. Yeah, I like Stantler. Stantler's pretty strong, too. Sensitivity on the mic feels like it falls off quickly, maybe. I'm bad when I'm streaming about turning away from the mic a lot while I talk, and I have a very strictly directional mic, so that happens. That might have just been my bad mic discipline from time to time. It's funny, it doesn't happen when I'm, like, Let's Playing, or when I'm, doing, like, a voiceover in post, because I got really good mic discipline then, but if I'm streaming, I keep turning my head off to the side and looking at the chat and stuff while I'm talking. Yeah, you can hear that I sway around a lot, especially if I'm standing like I am right now. No, my cats are really friendly. Really nice cats. Even to strangers. Just started watching the Oblivion challenges. Thank you so much. I'm really proud of those. I'll do more someday, I promise. All right. I should wrap this up. I need to walk. I need to eat. I've ate 2 grilled cheese sandwiches that I made earlier today. And then I made these like delicious little oat chocolate peanut butter cups as like a dessert I make. And those were really good. And then either that, I've massively undereaten today. So I should get some food in me before I go to bed. Any Morrowind challenge plans? No, because I haven't casually beaten Morrowind yet. In fact, I have played woefully little amounts of Morrowind, even though I really know I would like it, and I've liked what little I've played. Runs great on Steam Deck. Maybe I gotta play it more on Steam Deck. Maybe. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, have a nice day.